Show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm Ray Dunn alongside Amy Fadool. Amy, hello.
Hello. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. Austin Jones, producer of the program today. We will get into some Eagles conversation, but the Phillies obviously lose last night. The sky's falling. Not really.
That's it.
But
It's only a 5-game lead now.
I could feel the energy in the air around me of Kevin Cooney going with the, I told you so, this guy's a concern for me. Rangers worry me way more. Everybody's talking about Wheeler. There is a legitimate Ranger-Suarez problem to be had, and we're going to get to that because in the open of this show, I am going to, I guess, discuss two people that I have an affinity for, but unfortunately I have to go right after. Mm-hmm. And this will start with one, and I forget the texter's name from a couple weeks ago. Ray will just carry the water for Rob Thompson anytime. This is going to be groundbreaking radio because for once I'm going to tell you Rob Thompson was absolutely in the wrong last night. That fifth inning, Ranger Suarez loads him up, gets out of it. You escape unscathed.
That's it.
That's it for
you. That's a
you.
handshake. Good job. You did it. Clearly you're not feeling it right now.
Right.
You survived it.
You
So let's
survived through 5. Ultimately, it wouldn't matter. They only scored the one run. But to me, right there, Rob Thompson in the wrong. And this is a little issue I have with Rob Thompson right now because it's not that it's crushed them a million times. It's not that this is something that, the reason they haven't been able to get further, and now I can't even say the distance in the division because the Mets have done that for you. But the reason they don't have 3 or 4 more wins is because this. No, but it's a little problem I have because if you listen to Rob Thompson continue to talk about this rotation and the workload that he wants for them. He keeps saying that, hey, we got to watch their innings. We got to watch the workload of these guys. We got to watch what we're doing. The flip side of this is I've seen Wheeler go back out there for a 7th where it's like through 6, it looks like he's battling right now. I've seen Suarez go back out there for a 6th where it's like through 5. And last night was an example of that where I see him battle through 5 innings. He gives you an opportunity to win the game through those 5 innings, and I understand going to that bullpen, asking more of that bullpen could be a difficult thing, but also you just got a reinforcement in the way of Robertson. You're going to get a reinforcement in the way of Alvarado. If I have to burn Joe Ross in the 6th inning, I don't know if he's going to be here in 2 weeks.
He's not.
That's these are the opportunities you have to save an arm. And I think last night you also saw the actual in-game consequence of that, where he does not save the arm. And the runs pile up against you there. And this is something that really drives me crazy of the last couple of weeks of saying one thing, doing the opposite. You want to protect these arms. You want to limit the innings for these guys, especially an example last night where in the 5th inning, it looked like Suarez was teetering. He hit a batter. He walked a batter on 5 pitches. You start to see just little inconsistencies, and he had it in the first 2 innings. The first 2 innings he had, I'm not going to lie. After that, not really. So once he gets through 5, he's given you an opportunity to stay in the game with the 3 runs. That's where he has to be done for the day. If you're really about saving these guys' arms, if you really are watching these guys' workloads, and you're also watching this guy in the moment, it's kind of the feel thing where it's that guy has to come out of the game. So last night, yes, the lineup didn't give you anything but the 1 run late when Bryce Harper hits an inconsequential home run. Mm-hmm. So you could be upset at the lineup all you want. I can't really be upset at them with the way they produced over the last couple of weeks. They had an off night. But if we're talking about things that bother me, it's not so much that it lost to the game, but it's something that's inconsistent right now with their messaging, and it's something that I want to see change from this team going forward, is that Rob Thompson, if he's really going to be watching these guys' workloads, you watch him get through 5 innings, that 6th inning happens the way it does, makes it more difficult for you to come back, but also just goes against the entire idea of watching these guys' workloads.
And I think that's the thing. In practice, it's consistent, right? They're doing it. He's saying one thing. He's saying we're trying to save their arms. But consistently, these guys are going back out there for these kind of dangerous innings where they've already struggled to get to that point. They struggled through 6, or in Suarez's case, through 5. And then all of a sudden, he's going back out. I mean, anybody that watched that could see he just didn't have it. And then you see the comments and hear from him after the game, and you're like, he knew he didn't have it. He literally said, I stopped trying to pitch and just threw the ball. Like, good Lord.
That's good.
I was like, oh, okay. He was just like, I didn't feel it. And so Topper was like, yeah, well, you can't have that mindset. Okay, well, that's a conversation. That's a conversation that you needed to have.
You're in the dugout, Rob.
Like, what are we doing? So that was really frustrating. It was frustrating to watch, and then you hear the comments afterwards, and I was like, no. So I am confused because you do say you want to save, and you have. There's times where, we're not going to pitch Christopher Sanchez for the complete game. He just had the complete game. We're trying to watch their innings or whatever. He had a gem. He had 84 pitch, right? That was, 2 weeks ago? Not even. And so then this comes, and you see a guy that was really struggling and has been struggling. That's the thing. This is not the first time that you saw Ranger Suarez really kind of deal with trying to get through innings, trying to get through some of the batters, finding no command, not finding the placement that he needed to find. And then all of a sudden you try to back out there. No, there you go. They might not have won the game regardless because the offense obviously wasn't clicking, but they weren't going to lose it in the way that they did had he not made that decision.
And that brings me to the struggles of Ranger Suarez, because this is time and time again something we've seen with him. In the second half of seasons, it wasn't as stark in 2023, but there was certainly a jump in ERA in 2023. It was quite evident last year, even more so evident right now where, again, it's early on in the second half of the season, but he's pitching to a 6.59 ERA in the second half of the season after a 2.15 ERA in the first half. And on top of that, it's not that he has always been a guy with high velocity that's getting guys out. But if you look at the average fastball velo over the last couple of years, 93 miles per hour in 2023, 92.1 in 2024, 90.5 right now in 2025. That's a concerning trend, not just for this season, but for his career as this continues to go. I don't know what it is. They have always flirted with the idea that his back is bothering him. He started the season on the injured list with the back stiffness. In June, they had talked about how the back was bothering him and he wasn't 100% while he was going out there. And that concerns me the rest of the way. It does feel like they have a Ranger Suarez problem that they have to address, and it brings up 1,000 different questions of the way you manage this starting rotation from now until the end of the season. But also, throughout most of this season, he's been penciled in as that third starter in the postseason. He pitched in the postseason last year because the necessity was there, even though you had seen it. And it's not that he was terrible in that game. He really battled to try and get through that game against the Mets. But right now, they have a problem with where Ranger Suarez is at. And that, to me, while I get concerned about Wheeler, is another piece of this rotation that I have to figure out.
Well, it's interesting because I remember, right, so they were naming all the all-star pitchers, and everybody was like, why isn't Ranger Suarez? Why isn't Christopher Sanchez? And then we find out that Suarez had been asked, and he declined it. So he would rest up, take care of his body, and he would be ready. So he didn't want the same thing to happen. So that is even more disconcerting when you think about he saw it happen last year. So he's like, I don't want that to happen this year. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to pitch in the All-Star game. I'm going to take prioritize my health and rest. And yet here we are in the second half of the season, and his ERA is absolutely ballooned. It's 3 times what it was in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really concerning. And the fact that he can't. It'd be one thing if his ERA had gotten up there and he was going 7-8 innings. He's not been going 7-8 innings. He's not getting out of the 5th. He's not getting out of the 6th.
And that almost feels like what they're protecting when they throw him back out there. Like, hey, go take the 6th, get your quality start here, and try and
rack up a couple more earned runs.
Yeah, trying to erase the idea that you're having a tough go of it right now. Like, he was good again in that Tigers game. He had the one mistake. Oh, God, I sound like Thompson saying that. He had the one mistake that 3 runs come across in a good 7 innings. Start before that against the Yankees, battle. He was able to get there, but the last 2 starts, 19 hits over those 2 starts, and you're looking at 11 2/3 innings. Like, that's not going to get it done. And he's been able to get by on being kind of pinpoint with his velocity. He was not that last night. And when you're not pinpoint with his velocity,
when you're barely hitting 90,
there's 10 hits right there. And when he is not able to really command the zone that way, it leads me to believe, and he says he's fine. Rob Thompson doesn't believe that everything's right there. There seems to be a little fatigue there. That makes me think there's fatigue there. And as we get towards the end of this season, as we continue to work towards the end of the regular season, the question about how to manage this rotation is a hot one for this Phillies team. It is still a strength for this team in a postseason series. I do not want, we have the people that I know, well, you guys kept telling us the starting rotation's a strength. Zach Wheeler's had these tough July, August stretches before and been fantastic in the postseason. Ranger Suarez also has been really good in the postseason despite these tough stretches late in the season. I see Wheeler, Sanchez, that's your equalizer in any series. What Nola is, we're going to get to in a minute, and we're going to get to coming up. But that is the biggest thing. How do you manage this rotation going forward? I want to hear that from you at 610-632-0975. I think they have a Ranger Suarez problem at this point. I don't think I'm going out on a limb to say that.
No.
And I also am interested if people took the same issue with Thompson that I did last night because it's saying one thing and doing another. And that drives me nuts, especially when you know I'm sitting there on the couch. Amy's sitting there at a 5-star restaurant with the TV in front of her. Austin's sitting there at the casino, high rolling, watching the game. We all see it, and we see Ranger Suarez doesn't have it, yet you throw him out there for another inning. Did you have the same issue with it that I had? And you can jump in with us at 610-632-0975. Coming up, we will talk about Aaron Nola's rehab start. We got numbers from the minor leagues that we love. He'll be back. What do they do with the return of Aaron Nola? She's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn, hanging out with you here middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The summer's here, and you know what that means. Engagement season. But remember, don't force it.
Don't tell your significant other something so ridiculous they almost feel obligated to engage and prove you wrong. Let it be natural. Let it be intelligent and... .5thefanatic.com.
Midday show here on 97.5 The Fanatic alongside Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn. Austin Jones producing the program today. And they've got a Ranger Suarez problem. That's just, I think, evident to this point. Just because, again, to me, it's not that he has to be a fireballer. He's never been that. But the velocity continuing to drop, not having the command, just shows a guy who's fatigued and has been fatigued in the second half the last couple of seasons. This is not like breaking news to you. If you've watched his career, you've understood that this is a possibility. It's one of those things where we're celebrating him in June, and it's like the thing lingering in the back of your mind is like, am I going to be singing a different tune in 2 months? And you really don't want to. I almost feel like Lucy with the football, truthfully, with the Ranger Suarez second half. Like, it's not going to happen this year. That's honestly, I was like, yeah, he's looking good. He's got himself in the I don't know what it is.
Talked
Maybe
yourself into it. You really think you're going to be able to kick it?
I really thought I was going to be able to
She's
kick
gonna
it.
Take it away again.
Nope. And it's going to take it away again. And I almost want him to like, hey, yo, Christopher Sanchez, what exactly did you do to get yourself in this shape?
Tell me more about your routine.
Well, I don't know if you read the story, and this was a great story by Matt Gelb in The Athletic earlier this season about Christopher Sanchez, I guess, met his wife through his like fitness regimen, and like she's gotten him on the right like path, like eating wise, strength wise, health wise, whole thing. That like she's kind of ironed
Can the
out.
Phillies employ her?
Just like, hey,
Maybe like start a group chat.
right?
Even.
You know, little double dates.
Yeah.
You know, Suarez is sitting. They go over to the Sanchez's, and she helps out in terms of the
Here's
the
a
fitness.
salad. Here's some high protein,
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
just a way to get your,
low fat type of situation. Lean eating.
Yeah, it's not, and it's just a little bit of strength, just like to get you
Little
through the
core
whole
strength.
162. Yeah,
Core strength. Yeah, I just think that he's dealt with. Listen, he's obviously a fantastic pitcher. We've seen it over the years. The dip in velocity is concerning because it's now at levels where when you miss, like he was saying, I was reading you the quote. He basically said like I couldn't find my spots, and so I kind of just checked out, and so I just started throwing the ball. When you only touch 90, you can't just throw the ball. You have to be pinpoint accurate. So you just wonder why he wouldn't have, I don't know, figured it out or at least thought about doing something a little bit different because it's been the same problem. And core strength, I think he just thought, I'm really good at throwing the ball fast. I can find my location, check, I'm all done. That's not how necessarily it works. You're a professional athlete.
yeah,
Little core strength.
a little bit more. Like Ranger, I need you to survive in August and September. You showing back up in October is awesome. Like I appreciate
Yeah, but maybe
that.
get us through some of the.
Yeah,
It's a long season, but
is.
it's not. That's not new to you.
no,
That's the thing. It's not new to him. I mean, obviously he spent time as a reliever, but he's been a starter long enough to realize that
right.
we're
And
going
this,
to need you for 120 innings.
this back issue, we're going to get into it later on in the show because I do want to talk a little bit about what it does long term for him. But for the right now, Aaron Nola looked tremendous in his rehab start. 11 strikeouts, 4
Retired the
hits.
side like 3 times. I
Yeah,
think.
about 2 runs and 5 2/3. I got a text from my guy Corey, who's always up there and keeps a nice eye on the Iron Pigs. Nola looked very sharp last night. Knuckle curve was really good. So when Corey says it, I believe it.
All right.
He was up there checking it out, and I know he's got everything lined up for him to return. The question at this point is,
What do you do?
what you do. It did seem like Monday night, and I know Jason Stark was on with us yesterday, kind of, we'll play that for you, leaned into the idea of, like, I think they're going to go 6-man rotation. It seemed like Rob Thompson was talking that way. And that's an idea.
Yeah.
I would say that if they do go with that path, Nola probably starts Sunday, and Suarez should be pushed to Monday. Give Suarez the extra day because it seems like he could need it. I understand Nola's coming off of, but, like, keeping Nola on a regular schedule as he gets back before you go 6-man, and then he'll have the extra day post first start instead of giving him the first day now and making Suarez pitch on regular rest. I think he could use the rest more. But I so badly would like to see them just let one of these guys sit for a little bit. Honestly. Like the whole 6-man rotation, I understand what they're trying to do and trying to get everyone rest. And maybe that's the best case when you have 2 guys right now where we're wondering what's going on with their shoulder and we're wondering
Maybe
what's
trying
going
to
on with
manage
Suarez in general. It also helps you kind of stave off any type of big roster decision because you're going to have to make one with Alvarado. You're going to have to make one with Bohm. The Bohm one I put aside because it doesn't have anything to do with the pitching
Right.
staff itself. Alvarado comes up. Joe Ross, appreciate you. You're going to get your $4 million regardless.
Your 5 ERA gone.
Right. Goodbye. I just like the fact you could stave off any other roster decision if you sit a guy down. And this is around the time where we got the Ranger Suarez injured list stop a year ago.
Yep. Yeah, it was like mid-August-ish.
Right. I know this, for a lot of people, it's also the time you got the Wheeler one back in 2022. So you could look at either one to get you to September 1st, get you back to this 5-man rotation. Really kills me because I'm got those tickets to the Mets-Phillies game up there on the basis that I thought Wheeler would start that day. But, that wasn't foresight for me.
That's all right.
I didn't think about that one.
You didn't think that he would have his starts pushed.
But when you hear me talk about that, are you more team 6-man rotation or team sit one of these guys and let them reset?
I'm team. Initially, I was 6-man. So I saw Rob Thompson, what he said last night, and he said, we're not really sure. Let's see how Aaron Nola recovers. We're either going to go 6-man or we bump him, meaning Suarez, for it. And I thought, that's probably what I would do. I would probably bump Suarez. If you're concerned about his back and the way that he's unable to get through some of these, the last couple of outings, when you're looking at really the last several, 35-plus innings pitched, his ERA is, 6-something you said? So I would be more in favor of keeping the 5-man rotation, but then bumping a guy out of his start for extra rest, just because I think it does stave off, obviously, the decision about the roster, but really, these guys do like routine. And if you're trying to get Aaron Nola back up to speed, because you're going to need him, because now he's going to be your third starter, because it's not going to be Ranger Suarez, not the way he's pitching right now, then you're going to need to get him in his regular rhythm, and I think that's the best thing to do.
So you are also with me in the
Initially, I was like, no,
sit down.
That would be great, because then everybody gets rest, because Wheeler needs rest and Suarez. But right now, I'm like, Suarez needs more than rest. He needs like a complete reset right now, for me. Like, this is the last 2 or 3 games have been trending poorly. So I don't want to see it again in 6 days. I want to see it again in 2 weeks.
And this is just watching it happen, because I mentioned this plan to Kevin yesterday, and it was a plan I went into on Monday when Connor was producing the show, and I was like, this is just I had 3 hours in the car driving home from the store to think about the Phillies, and this is what I came up with. Could you reconfigure everything here? And now it's it would be Suarez or would it be Wheeler? And maybe because you have to make that choice between the two of them, the 6-man just makes sense until you can kind of kick that down the road to see if one of them responds to the rest of that 6. The days off in between, instead of going 6-man or instead of going to 5-man, go to 6-man. But I feel like if you're going to make the decision has to be now. And given what you've seen from Suarez, they can't seem to find anything wrong with him though, outside of just being tired, or fatigued or whatever you want to do. Just use the back excuse.
Yeah, put him on the IL.
I just think to make the roster thing simple. I think that's probably the best case, but also I don't want to see 2 pitchers go down because I'm forcing Wheeler on 5 days rest. I'm talking out both sides of my mouth here because it's driving me nuts. I think the best thing to do for them from roster construction-wise is to sit one of these guys down to get the extra time. So I think that 6-man is not their best course.
Even though we give 2
everyone
of your pitchers, yes.
And I think you're gonna have a couple of off days coming up here post the 20th. So I guess you have to deal with it for a week, but then post the 20th, you're getting a day off. You're gonna have a weird day off post Labor Day in Milwaukee, because I know people are going out to Milwaukee. They're like, yeah, they have that Tuesday off.
A Tuesday,
because that makes a ton of sense. But also build in some rest for you over these next couple of weeks. So I'm curious how people think about how they should manage the rotation going forward. You could jump in by call or text 610-632-0975. The YouTube chat. Ray doesn't like taking calls.
Ray takes calls.
I've been sitting here for 3 days, man. What do you know about me?
I don't understand what's happening.
Coming up next, I was also annoyed at something last night. This should be illegal.
Yeah.
This should be illegal. This should not be allowed.
This was that's one of the, it's never happened.
It should be illegal, Amy. She's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn, hanging out with you middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies dropped the second game of the series last night against the Reds. Ranger Suarez did not have his best stuff as he allowed 6 earned runs on 92 pitches in 5 1/3 innings. In Rangers' last 6 starts, he's given up a total of 24 runs. The Phillies will go for the series win with Christopher Sanchez on the mound. First pitch is set for 5:10 p.m. And with the struggles of Ranger Suarez, it means that the return of Aaron Nola could be really needed for the Phillies rotation. Last night, Aaron Nola pitched 5 2/3, allowing 2 earned runs, but struck out 11 batters. And Eagles guard Landon Dickerson suffered a knee injury that will require a medical procedure, which will put him on the shelf for a while, which means backup Brett Tooth would be the next man in line. And this is what Kevin Patullo had to say earlier about Brett Tooth.
He's a really smart individual, really good with the detail of the game. He understands a lot of positions, which is great to have a guy like that can line up in multiple spots and be able to step in if something happens. So I think that's the biggest thing he brings. And he's been in the system for a while. He understands what we want to do and the way Stout teaches it.
This update's also brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Looking for an exceptional driving experience? Experience the power, persuasion, and intelligence of an iconic Mercedes-Benz SUV at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer today. I'm Austin Jones at the home of the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Bo and Bill Colarulo. Now back to the Midday Show on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I feel like Bill. Talking about Thompson doing something I don't like. That's like a real Bill feel to the starts of the show for me.
Your shirt fits, though. So.
That's a good point. She's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn, hanging out with you here on the Midday Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. And we are going to get to the phone line, get to the text line at 610-632-0975 in a second. But, Amy, what in the world is this?
This was, I honestly, I actually looked it up. I don't think it's ever happened.
Okay, so you know, so you looked this up to know whether or not
a quick Google of like current players, and sometimes they've done it, but it's because they were. But it was the only time I had ever found an instance, at least in my brief research, of a current player being out there for that ceremonial pitch, is they were accepting it from a former teammate on their current team.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it would be as if Jimmy Rollins came back and if Chase Utley was still playing. You know what I mean?
Right,
like
yes. Okay, so his former teammates do it. If you did not hear,
That's the only time I found
see
it.
any of this, Kyle Schwarber before the game on Tuesday night, hometown kid from the Cincinnati area, was behind the plate to catch two ceremonial first pitches.
Yes. Kyle
His
Schwarber,
dad and
who
his
was up for
little league coach.
a contract. His dad.
Youth baseball. Sorry, I don't know. Little league, maybe whatever portion of the baseball world he found him in. They had his dad and his youth coach throw out ceremonial first pitches to Kyle Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Who is up for a contract.
Oh, is he? Is he up as for free agency? This should be illegal. This should not be allowed. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous.
It's such like an open love letter, and it is so borderline of how is that not some kind of tampering? Like, I don't understand. It's almost like, hey, we love you so much, and look, the reasons you should come here is your father and the gentleman who introduced you to the sport that's going to pay you hundreds of millions of dollars.
It's like you have to sit there and watch your significant other go on vacation with someone else's family. That's what this is. That's what that one is. That was hey, Phillies, watch this. So what? How
That is openly courting him. Openly.
That's like, there is in no world that should be allowed.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, you got the man. So how do you think that conversation went? So Kyle's dad calls him up. Hey, we're so excited you're going to be back in the Cincinnati area. We love when you come here.
Right.
It doesn't happen all the time. Yay.
I got the family tickets figured out.
Great.
We got the section.
So
all your
that's the
friends
thing.
going to be out here.
Did the Reds give Mr. Schwarber tickets? Or did Kyle give him tickets? Because he's the ceremonial first pitch.
That's terrible. We need an investigation launched into this.
That's the first I thought. I was just like, well, who gave him the tickets? Or was it I'm going to be there anyway, so the Reds call up his dad and say, we want you to throw out the first pitch. I mean, it's not like his dad was a police chief. We all know, because Schwarber has the great, the Neighborhood Heroes Foundation does a lot of work with first responders and military personnel. So you know what his family does. It's not like it was his little league or his youth baseball coach and his dad who also coached. He was a police officer. So what's the connection there?
I
just need to know who gave him the tickets.
Or is our buddy Bob out there?
He was, yes.
Okay. I want you out there, Bob, to investigate a report. All right? You've been a journalist for 30-something years. Go out there and find the report on who gave the tickets out, how this came to be. This is an affront to the free agency.
If Kyle gives him the tickets, okay. But if the Reds are like, hey, you're going to be – because if you – and I don't know this for a fact. I've thrown out one ceremonial first pitch, and it was at the Cal Ripken Little League World Series, and so I didn't get free tickets. Mm-hmm. I was a media member.
Right.
I'm assuming when you are a ceremonial first pitch person that they give you tickets, right? How else do they ensure that you are arriving at the game?
I don't know.
Right? That would be very strange.
I need
So we got to find this out.
This should not be allowed. I understand people are like, oh, why are you upset about this? No. This legitimately. Also, Mr. Schwarber, how dare you negotiate against the city of Philadelphia?
Maybe. No. His name's Greg. It's Greg Schwarber.
It-
I feel like I don't know him, so I'm not going to call him
I'm not
Greg.
calling him Greg. Mr. Schwarber, what is this?
Police Chief Schwarber.
Come on. What?
Chief Schwarber. Chief Schwarber.
Like, this should, I'm dead serious about this. This is the type of thing that in the NBA, this is tampering. This is open tampering. Like,
Yeah.
you should be Dr. Pick.
I almost kind of, I'm like, I kind of feel sorry because it's the Reds. It's like when,
Oh, yeah. With the price tag this is going to cost, I don't
like,
think they're going to be able to get
good
in on
luck.
this. But what they're trying to get is the hometown discount.
Yes.
They're playing to the family.
yep.
I don't like it at all.
It was just, you've never seen an opposing player come out of the dugout for the pitch to receive from his father and his youth baseball coach. Or of any ilk. I've never seen an opposing player be a part of a ceremonial first pitch ever. To my knowledge, I couldn't find it. Again, it was only about like a 45-minute search. Couldn't find it.
45 minutes. That's a
I mean,
wild.
it was literally.
Yeah.
It was like I was like, well, there must be. So I had like different like things I would put it. But.
You worked at Baltimore.
Yes.
You're aware of the Babe Ruth Museum.
Correct.
Is that what we're going to get? Is Cincinnati going to open up the Kyle Schwarber Museum?
That's
Are they going to
great.
put a statue of him outside the
Yeah,
ballpark?
the people that walk by, because it's right there. It's
It is.
It's very close to Camden Yards, and you walk by it. If you're walking anywhere in that whole, Camden Yards area where Pickles Pub and all that stuff is, you can see it, the Babe Ruth Museum, and people are like, Babe Ruth's from here, and like, well, that's why they put it up.
So is that what we're going to get here? Is that what Cincinnati's going to do now? Oh, come sign here. Instead of getting the millions that the Phillies are going to give you and the chance to win the Phillies are going to give you, we got a statue to get the Kyle Schwarber
So
Museum.
let me ask you this: what if the Phillies did it, and Mike Trout was the receiving, like they had his youth baseball coach?
Well, tampering for my team is always good.
That's
No,
what
I mean, it shouldn't be allowed. It
I was trying to
openly
think.
shouldn't be allowed.
Is
The
there
Trout
one-
one was what came to mind. But, like,
because I mean, we see him always at Eagles games, and people are like, go Phil.
as much love has been shown between the two sides on that one. This one felt like just overtly, like it legitimately felt like, hey, your significant other's going out to dinner and you have to sit there alone at the table and watch.
Yes.
I don't want to do that. It's gross.
Yeah, you're not even at the bar watching. You're kind of outside watching through the
Yeah,
glass.
it's
Just like
Kyle.
hands. Don't order
all
the
right.
dessert.
It's ridiculous. Now, coming up, I see someone on the line. We've had beef, and he was banned for a little while.
Yes.
But I'm going to give him the opportunity. Okay? He wants to get in the Phillies rotation, which I'm asking you at 610-632-0975 what you would do at this point. Are you going to the six-man rotation? Would you like to see them have Suarez or Wheeler take a step aside for 15 days, protect the roster, and allow them to kind of work through what they're doing without having to go out there every fifth day? He wants to talk about the rotation. We're going to get to it. But Ish, I see you. We'll take your call. Also, news from joint practice. Hurts has thrown an interception.
That's it.
Also, Kevin Patullo spoke today. We'll get to a little bit of what he had to say in the Eagles as we continue on through the 10 o'clock hour. Eamon Fadool alongside myself, Ray Dunn, hanging out here middays, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Hey, everybody, it's Bill Colarulo, and coming up at 2 o'clock on Unfiltered, another rough outing for Ranger Suarez last night. Should we be concerned?
The show, Austin Jones.
Hello.
So I see that we have someone against us here on your personal text line when it comes to the Kyle Schwarber thing.
So I said I did like a good research, and I did. This is this is not apples to apples.
No, it's not at all.
It's not even close. But there has been an opposing player come across in the gray uniform to catch a ceremonial first pitch. Sean Kane, shout out. Carl Yastrzemski threw out the first pitch at Fenway Park. Mike Yastrzemski was playing for the Giants. This was like 6 years ago. He was not a free agent. He was very young into the league, obviously. And though Kyle Schwarber's dad is amazing, he is not a legend of the Cincinnati Reds.
Correct.
So he is just
the differentiation we're making.
Just a gentleman that lives in the area.
Sean, you watch it try and prove me wrong.
That's right.
I won't come over and drink your beer during March Madness. Appreciate you listening. And seriously though, like it's a direct recruiting measure.
I mean, it is. I appreciate. Like, part of me is just like, I appreciate the level of like trolling. I mean, that's just being in whatever meeting room decided. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna find out Kyle Schwarber's youth baseball. Find out that guy's name. He also played football. Why not bring that guy back?
Why not bring the theater director for where he did all the dancing?
He did all of his, like, the show choir.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Where are they?
Maybe the show choir people could have gotten back together and done one of the dances.
Might as well.
Your song.
Is that why the game's early tonight? Is that the show after the game tonight? Which also is crazy. Listen, people of Cincinnati, you could stay out past 8 o'clock. These games start at 6:10, at 5:10 because, we got post-game concerts. I understand. The beat writer's never going to say anything about this because they get stuff done early. They can get out of town or they relax. I'll say it. As the casual guy just sitting on his couch, 5:10 for a baseball game.
5:10 is weird. That's a weird
I got a lot
time.
of problems with Cincinnati. I'll be honest with you. A lot of problems with Cincinnati.
It's
Someone else I have problems with.
Yes.
Ish from Levittown. All right, we're going to go to the phones. We're going to see what he has to say about the Phillies rotation. Ish, how are you today?
I'm fine, yourself.
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the rotation. I think they should actually go to a 6-man rotation to give Wheeler a rest. And I think Aaron Nola should get a start. Well, no, I have a question. Would Aaron Nola be in the rotation and Taiwan Walker go to the bullpen?
If they go 6-man?
Yeah.
Okay, so Walker's going to be that 6th man. Nola rejoins. I guess he's the 6th guy because they currently run a 5 guy. You're going to have one guy come in. That makes it 6.
Would you replace Walker with Painter?
No.
No? Okay.
I would not.
And I don't know if it's a weird thing. With this upcoming Eagle season, I'm not really too worried about it. So, I'm worried about it. I'm going to be excited about how they play and how the season turns along. But I'm not really too stressed out about it. Only the cornerback position with Ringo and the other guy competing. But I'm not really too worried. I think it's because of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so you find yourself totally unbothered by this team.
Yeah, I'm not really just the cornerback position, but I'm not really too worried about the season. Let me clarify that. I'm worried about the season, but I'm not too stressed.
Yeah, all right. So you feel good going into this season. Ish, this is a very measured call from you. This is kind of almost concerning. It's got me uneasy how measured this call is from you.
Okay. It was nice. Oh, can I ask one more question to Amy?
Sure.
Real quick?
Yeah.
Amy, the Sixers' upcoming season, what about Grimes? Will they re-sign him, or will he sign his offer sheet?
Well, I mean, I think at this point they have to, for me, but we don't. That's TBD on that.
Yeah, it seems like that's where this is headed.
I don't know how they would get through a season where they don't have Quentin Grimes.
That's where we're at.
The way that the roster is constructed. Certainly, they need a healthy body to start the season.
Yes.
And they need as many as they can get, and he would be one. But obviously, they have I think they're waiting for some of the chips to fall. Some of the other the restricted free agent market is not really big. There's a couple that are out there, and they haven't signed.
And everyone's waiting.
It's like Josh Giddey is just sitting. They're all waiting. All right, when's the first?
It's August 13th, right? You guys realize
the schedule still hasn't come out. So
I think that's tomorrow, right?
Yes, it's supposed to be tomorrow.
Mark Stein report. I forget who reported.
Yeah, I saw that. It's definitely
tomorrow, Friday,
about noon-ish, which is a full month after the NHL schedule was posted.
Did you say noon? Tomorrow?
Supposedly.
Oh my gosh.
Supposedly.
Tomorrow, 12:15, W's and L's. Sixers season. Yes.
I'll be here tomorrow, and we're not doing that.
All 82. Stay tuned, folks.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's at noon, but in the noon-ish afternoon time.
I was really uneasy how just
I kept
sounds
waiting for
ish was. The 6-man thing kind of threw me off there, where it's like they go I want them to go 6-man. Who would be the 6th man? It's not going to be Painter. Painter needs to earn that promotion, and that he has not done that. And his most recent start suggests you probably won't see him at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't want to
year.
interrupt you, but I don't think you'll see Andrew Painter this year.
Yeah, Andy. You
Or Andrew.
You went up and interviewed him
Andrew.
once, and now
No,
look at
it's not.
Andy and Amy, best
That's
buds.
not-
Did he call you AIM?
No,
You guys are best friends?
That's just for Coach Len. That's
All
just
right.
for Jim.
Coming up, I see Hal Naples wants to get into the Schwarber thing. I also want to jump into a little bit of like what we as fans get from joint practice, because we're talking about practice. It's not a ton from me. Also, speaking of things I didn't get a ton from today, Patulo. I have an observation about him that I want to get into.
Okay.
One positive, one just out there. So almost an homage to Double M, because I feel like him when I was watching today, and that was the takeaway I
Watching
had.
Patulo this morning.
Yes. Also, the Ringer's doing something pretty cool for, everyone's doing their 21st century things, 25 years in the 21st century. It's a little bit of a bracket style thing they're doing for the best football teams. Interesting where the Eagles lined up, and I think it was a troll job with this past Eagles team who their first round matchup was. I'll get to that. She's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn. Take you through middays here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies dropped the second game of the series last night against the Reds. Ranger Suarez did not have his best stuff as he allowed 6 earned runs on 92 pitches in 5 1/3 innings. In Rangers' last 6 starts, he's given up a total of 24 runs. The Phillies will go for the series win today with Christopher Sanchez on the mound. First pitch is set for 5:10. Eagles guard Landon Dickerson suffered a knee injury over the past weekend in the open practice, and a medical procedure will be required to fix his knee, which means backup Brett Tooth would be next in line, and this is what Kevin Patulo had to say earlier about Tooth.
He's a really smart individual, really good with the detail of the game. He understands a lot of positions, which is great to have a guy like that can line up in multiple spots and be able to step in if something happens. So I think that's the biggest thing he brings, and he's been in the system for a while. He understands what we want to do and the way Stout teaches it.
The Union will be back in action tonight as they face the Red Bulls. The match will begin at 7:30. This update's also brought to you by Audible. What a great sunny day to fall in love. Audible's romance collections has something to satisfy every side of you. Start your first great love story with a free 30-day trial at audible.com. I'm Austin Jones on the home of the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Andrew DeCecco.
and HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities alongside AB Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn, taking you through the midday show here on The Fanatic. And today opens up joint practices, Eagles, Browns. And since I last updated you, Jalen Hurts has thrown another interception. This is not a radio bit, people.
We're all done.
This is not a radio bit. This actually is happening. He's thrown 2 interceptions at joint practice, which brings me to the greater question here. The teams clearly get a lot out of this.
Yes.
Because they're able to, like, hey, this is what we want from you guys.
We
This is
want to
what
run.
yeah. So they get a ton out of it. We
get like,
Tweets?
180 characters worth of
Right.
unless you're the check mark, then you can have unlimited. But
right. And someone will do it. The unlimited.
Yeah.
We'll get the whole full
We'll get the whole-
breakdown.
we'll get everything.
We get tweets. We get
jumping to
You know,
conclusions and
people checking in here on these airwaves.
Which I
our
appreciate.
favorites. Birds Huddle. You guys will have the
we're
breakdown.
talking about it today at 6:00.
I'll
Well,
open
no,
up.
it won't be at 6:00 because the game will be on. So we'll be on post game.
Right, because the game's
The
at 5:10.
5:10.
Yeah, 5:10 game tonight. So, on the way home, like are you even home from work at that point? Like whatever. But point being here, it is again. I mentioned it earlier in the week, and it might just be me because when I brought it up, there was not this groundswell that I thought maybe
Right.
I would get from the fan base on this one. It just feels like this team is like kind of at arm's length from the fan base before the season, and then actually getting into the season, it's so expensive to get in there. Like, it almost feels like some of the foundational core memories I have are, again, going up to Lehigh, those types of things of like growing that fandom. And maybe because you get that behind the scenes look on social media, that was one of the explanations that we
Right.
got, that you still feel that connected. It's just in a different way. And maybe that's how you form connections with things at this point in our lives. I'm happy they're going to get their work in today. They're going to get between the Browns. I just feel like fan-wise, what you're going to get Saturday is watered down by the fact that you get this Wednesday, Thursday. Good football-wise. I don't want to take away from what's good football-wise.
The joint practices started, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Bill Belichick is the first one to do those a number of years ago up there in Patriots lands. I'm sure somebody else.
Feels right.
Yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was somebody else. But it feels like it was him. And then you would see other teams obviously start doing. They would do like maybe one leading up to. Now you have like multiple practices, and these are the only time that practices I think really are beneficial. And I shouldn't say that. Every practice has some sort of redeeming quality, but at the real crux of like what they're going to learn about this team and whether it's going to be Keely Ringo or Adoree Jackson or Jaquavian Bennett, like is something like this, because these guys don't play in the preseason game, right? We all saw that preseason game. It was football technically because there was a football out there and there's people wearing pads.
Tanner McKee, it was a football game.
It was his football game.
Yes.
But you're not seeing, and that one actually resembled somewhat football because you had Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and those guys out there for several snaps, several series. But this is it's good. You do wish the fans would be able to see this, because it is actually like something that you would see when you would go to Lehigh Valley, or for people that are a little bit older at Westchester, or if you're a little bit older than that in Hershey, you would see this kind of interaction, this real football type of practice. With the hitting and the sweating, and just really like they're actually running, drills and sets that are meaningful, because they can, as you mentioned, you can set up what it's going to look like. We want to run our goal line. All right, so we're going to run our 2-minute. We're going to run, hey, we want to see how it looks. And so they get all together. So there's a lot of planning in that. It's very choreographed, but it's real football in the fact that it is designed to, either have guys rise up or whatever. So I don't know. You mentioned like how the cost. I saw this article the other day. The Eagles have the most expensive NFL ticket this year.
Yeah. I mean,
without question, it's like $530-something. That's on average. The home opener,
secondary on average, or in general? Okay.
Secondary on average. And then the home opener right now is over $800 on average. It's $800 to get in. That's that's the average price. Obviously, there's a get-in price of maybe like whatever, couple hundred, but that also means there's like sideline seats that are like $1,000 each.
Yeah, I'm going to say I don't know how much the fan base I speak for. I haven't been to a game since prior to the pandemic.
Really?
Yes. I think the last time I was at a game was Deshaun Jackson's return. where he caught the two big
Yes.
passes against Washington.
Yes.
I think that's the last time I was in that building.
Wow.
For an Eagles game, obviously. I've been there
You
for
go for
concerts, Temple. You just jumped right to Temple. I've been
know.
there more recently for concerts than I have been.
Well, you were there for the weekend.
Yes, the weekend. I was there for Kendrick. I was there for Zach Bryan. We're
Zach
going to get to
Bryan.
coming up like last
Oh, that's
year.
good
And then
stuff.
I was at a couple Temple games last year. So I've been to the link.
We try to go to at least a game a year.
And it's a good thing to try to strive for. Also, now doing post game, it's like
Well, yeah, you
not
can't
feasible for
run.
me. But
it's expensive. 'Cause we try to get,
Yeah.
we get 3 because we want Shawnee to go with us. 3 is like worse. You should just buy 4.
right, well, yeah, it's
But then now
impossible.
you're-
Nobody's
now-
selling 3
no
because
one's selling 3,
you
but-
buy them mostly in 2s.
Now, like
or
$1,500 later, I'm like, well, I guess we're not.
Yeah.
No.
You sit behind me
Not
with the
doing
one
that.
ticket. I'll sit
Yeah,
up here
exactly.
with 2.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have to go. That's fine. You guys can go. It's better to buy 2 for a couple hundred each.
But one thing that we did get absolutely, I feel like nothing from today, other than Britt Toth is someone they like and someone that they,
Right.
like this versatility. Maybe that's who they're going to go with in the time being with Landon Dickerson out, is Kevin Patullo. And I just will say, he is a more polished Sirianni when it comes to the podium.
That's a good way to say it.
He is elite at saying nothing in the way Sirianni is, but he doesn't necessarily take the meanderings.
Yeah.
He basically
Yeah.
cuts out the minute of nothingness, says nothing, but does the, like, we like that guy a lot. He's wonderful. He doesn't
Yeah,
really
we're
drop
seeing
into
good
the whole,
things.
like, I played Papa Shot with him 2 years ago, and it showed me something about him. Yeah, I
That's so good.
think he's a
exactly
more
right.
polished. He's also a blinker. I don't know if it was just today. I'm trying to get a read on what he's saying with
I
his
listened,
eyes.
but I
on
didn't
it.
watch it.
Because he tends to blink quite a bit while he's talking, and I don't know if it's when he's trying to drive home a point, or if it's because he's saying something. I always try to read body language when coaches that don't say anything
seen
are
him-
saying something.
Have you seen him speak indoors versus outdoors? Is it a sunlight thing?
That's a good point. Maybe it did have the hat on today, but that's 2 things I took away from a presser that otherwise you took very little away from. Like
Yeah.
Jahan Dotson, I do think he likes Jahan Dotson quite a
Yes.
bit. I think they value the fact that they got Dotson an entire offseason within this team. So if there's one thing I guess I actually did take away from that, and Dotson's spoken pretty highly of Patullo, I think Patullo values Dotson more than what you got last year, and I think Dotson's more comfortable this year with the Eagles. So if there's
Right.
something to take from, like, trying to read into every little thing they say, that would be one for me where I think he is more comfortable with Patullo and just more comfortable in general with the situation and could see his role increase this year.
Yeah, I think that he does. Yeah, he doesn't give you a lot. He does really trim the fat though, because
Right.
when you have Nick Sirianni, he'll give you something, but it's just there's a lot of extraneous, parsley on the plate. I don't need
Sirianni
it.
is a story's dream. Fangio is a reporter's dream. I'm not really sure what Patullo fits in yet. Like Sirianni, you can get a nice glowing story of like, oh, here's a little anecdote about this and a little
Yep.
anecdote about that. Like the anecdotal knowledge about these people you pick up listening to Sirianni. You don't pick up a lot about like reporting what they're actually going to do. Fangio, you get it because he tells you exactly what he's thinking,
Yeah.
and the truth allows you to report on what this team
Right.
might do. Patullo, I haven't yet found his
I'm trying to think. I remember the
value.
the introductory press conferences last year when Kellen Moore was introduced and then when Vic Fangio was introduced, and obviously completely diametrically opposite. And I remember thinking at the time, Kellen Moore speaks like a head coach because he doesn't give you anything.
Right.
Apparently, Kevin Patullo also speaks like a head coach and doesn't give you anything. But Kellen Moore will give you just enough. He had that head coaching kind of vibe. Patullo, I think, just kind of goes to the Nick Sirianni school of like, we're just going to keep this all very close to the chest. And if he does mention a person's name, it's important. Like Jahan Dotson, for example, like if he actually says, but he so rarely calls people out, good or bad. You rarely hear names come out of his mouth. I mean, he'll be directly asked about a certain player. Hey, what do you think about whomever? Give me, A.J. Dillon. Oh, well, yeah, he's doing some nice things back there. Okay, no, but what do you actually like about him? Well, we like that he can, run the ball. Basically, is what he
Right.
says. Okay, got it. Check. The running back can run the ball. All
It's
over
a good
it.
thing to know. It's an important
it.
thing to know.
Done it.
Now, something we got into earlier was just the abhorrent thing that Cincinnati tried to pull on the Phillies yesterday, having Kyle Schwarber catch a first pitch from his dad and from his youth baseball coach. And Hal in Naples wanted to get in on that at 610-632-0975. Hal, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
How are you?
Doing good.
You got us on speaker?
No, I'm not on speaker.
All right, well, you're very low, so
Yeah.
maybe try and speak up for us here.
Hello?
Al? Oh, no.
Oh, he was.
Oh.
Hey, you hear me?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
now I
hey.
got you, Hal.
All right, I'm there, buddy.
All
right.
right, what you got?
Is that you weren't joking when you said they're tampering, right? Because I don't think it's a joking match.
No, I'm dead serious. I think it's tampering. I think if anywhere else we watched that happen, you'd feel some type of way.
Where have you ever seen that before? I mean, you mentioned one other place, but I can't remember it now. But it's
Yastrzemski.
ridiculous.
But that
And-
wasn't the
And aren't
same.
you surprised that? Aren't you surprised that Schwarber agreed to it?
Yeah, the whole thing. I mean, I don't. Does he say no? It's his dad.
Yeah, who? Well, yeah, that's the
but
whole thing. You want to have a catch with your dad? No.
Throw your first pitch in the backyard. Why didn't he do it last year? I got a million questions about it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
My
another good question. Yeah.
Why did they do
Why
it?
do you wait till
Well,
free
you know
agency?
why, Hal.
He's
There you
doing it
go.
on a contract year?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it is. That's very
Come on.
telling. That's true. They didn't do it last year. I got to know
Yeah.
whose
How about-
tickets they used.
And let me ask you, is Suarez a free agent?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, get rid of him. He's I love the guy, but I think he's
I
down
can feel
his
that coming.
downflip of his career.
Yeah.
And it's very
Let him
interesting.
go because they got to sign a lot of guys
Yeah.
at the end of the year.
And he could be
You're
the
right.
odd man out of this one. And I appreciate the call, Hal. That's something we're going to get to later, coming up
That's
in the
true.
11 o'clock hour, resetting kind of the conversation about
have
the
a lot of
Suarez
people.
issue and also how it plays long term for him here and just in general, because there's a lot that could be at play there. I do want to get to the Ringer bracket they're putting together of the best teams of the 21st century, and just looking at the Eagles teams they have on here might be a fun thing to follow as they continue to go through this. But we'll continue to break down what they're doing with Ranger Suarez, what his future outlook looks like. And are you as bothered as I am by the Schwarber thing? Like, Hal's bothered by it. I know I saw in the YouTube chat, oh, stop it, Ray. Fake out, Ray. No, this is tampering. They did it right in front of you. They're right in front of you. They're like, yeah, we're going to try and just take this guy right
They
from you in
played
the
there
offseason.
last year.
Yeah, like, he's played there for a while. Played for the Cubs for a while, you know. When did that? It wasn't the first time he showed up.
Well,
He's
also
been good for a while.
42 home runs.
All right. He had 40 a couple years ago.
Not
Do
in a
it then.
contract year.
Do it then, Cincinnati. Don't actually do it at all, Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Bunch of frauds. Making
It's
no
a-
friends in Cincinnati
yeah, I
today.
mean,
But
they're
it's not
just-
a place that I necessarily
Listen,
have
they
to-
got someone pointed out in the YouTube chat. It's a great call. They do chili on spaghetti. So
Yeah,
it's
there's
just,
a lot
you
wrong
can't.
there.
There's a lot going on there.
All right, we'll come back, get to the best teams of the 21st century. Where do the Eagles, the most recent Eagles team, and also that 2017 fall in the Ringers look at this? And, of course, we'll continue on with the Phillies conversation. What would you do with this rotation? She's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn. Take it through middays here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Andrew Salciunas, Sean Kincade.
Are we starting to see the Phillies?
produced the show, and our YouTube chat talk a lot about food. So real quick, we're gonna get to this Ringer story because I think it's a troll job who they have in this bracket facing up against this champion Eagles team. But it's funny to me because the Eagles did end up moving on the first round of this. They're doing the best NFL team of the quarter century bracket. I don't know. There's 2 Eagles teams, obviously 2 Super Bowl teams on here.
Right, as there should be.
But this food conversation has me thinking. I got lunch with a friend of mine in the industry yesterday, and we went to a place near us in Fishtown. Wonderful place, gone there a couple times. Nothing but great food. But we went. My lunch now is 3 o'clock. If you want to meet me for lunch, it's 3 o'clock.
That's true.
So I don't. Have you ever heard of the turnover menu? This was my first experience with a turnover menu.
I don't. You don't see it a lot, but because sometimes people they just like stop serving. But I have heard of it. I think I've only seen it out in the wild, maybe like once or twice.
So I appreciate it more than the stop serving.
Right.
The stop serving.
You've been there, right? All of a sudden,
Yes.
it's like, oh, we're not. Our kitchen's closed. It doesn't open back up till 4 or whatever it is.
There's a place I like near my old apartment, which I say near my old apartment. It's just closer to my old apartment than my new apartment. That stopped serving. And I've ended up there multiple times, right around 3, so my lunchtime. And I've had multiple times where I forget, go there, and it's like,
yeah, we're not serving yet.
I guess I'm just going to have to drink 3 margaritas
Yep.
for lunch. Just kidding. That's parody.
He means 4.
But how do you feel about the turnover, man?
Yeah, I appreciate that they're having it.
Uh-huh.
I just don't understand if the kitchen is open,
Right.
then isn't it open?
Right. Why not just extend the lunch menu?
Yeah. Or is your turnover menu completely free of things that would be utilized by the kitchen staff? Do you know what I mean? Like it's just.
I guess. I mean, it's
Like
it's a limited
sandwiches,
menu. There's sandwiches,
chips,
burgers.
salsa. See, now that's the thing. A burger is.
The
Like if you
salad
have-
I got was fantastic.
That's okay. A salad would be an example of like what I would consider a turnover menu. Like our kitchen is shut down right now. We shut it down at 2 o'clock to get ready for our dinner service. We got a 2-hour prep time for that, so we're doing other things. So we're gonna have stuff that's not gonna include like the cooks.
I guess the big cooks.
You know
'Cause
what I mean?
what it was,
Like
it was
a
very
salad,
simple.
like a club sandwich, but nothing that would be utilized by cooking.
I guess I need the culinary
Power.
person listening to give me the meaning of a turnover menu. Why you do it?
What? I mean, I think it's to get the shit, like everything ready for the dinner service. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of prep work that goes into creating.
I know.
Right?
I appreciate them being
Like
open.
chop the
That's-
lettuce.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed
up
my
the
meal. I was
tomatoes.
it's my first experience with the turnover menu.
But they had burgers on there. That's interesting.
Yeah, which was I was like, this seems a little more involved than just like we got a couple salads and a sandwich for you.
See, that's what I would think a turnover menu. would
Right.
be.
So
We can get you chips and salsa, a sandwich, and a salad.
a team that struggled with turnovers early in the season and
Hey, well, that
Horribly
ladies and
crafted
gentlemen,
segue.
is a very far-reaching segue.
yeah, it's best teams of the 21st century. The Eagles end up a number 1 seed in one of these quadrants brackets, and they get an 8 seed in the Carolina Panthers that lost in 2015. That Cam Newton team,
Oh,
which
yeah.
feels like a troll job for the whole
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts, Cam Newton back
has
and
to be.
forth. This Eagles team is better than that team, and the voting clearly went into that case. They're right up on the Eagles, though. I just like going through this to see how things are remembered differently. It took a little while, but by the time the 2024 Eagles got to New Orleans, take on the Chiefs, it was clear that they were one of the best teams of this century. The Eagles got off to a 2-2 start, 116-17. Fangio's defense was built back to front, which is an interesting thing for this year because I am so uncertain of pieces of the secondary.
Right.
We talked about how dominant they were. People have to remember that pass rush in the NFC Championship game Super Bowl was not the pass rush you got the entire season.
No,
And that's
not even close.
Right. Which is something that I know people want to say, like, oh, should they add to, like, the edge rushers are a concern, but their strength last year was that secondary. And that leads me to some of the concerns we have this season. But to digress, they took care of top tier offenses. This line is fine to me. Offensively, the goal was to be your pick your own poison unit. Pound ball with Saquon Barkley and a dominant offensive line until the defense proves they could stop you. If that happened, Philly could lean on Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith in the passing game. Very funny to hear that right up, given the conversation that's ensued following the season.
Yeah, you could lean on.
But
those
ultimately, they end up the top seed of this bracket. They win their first one. The 2017 team also ended up winners in their first round thing. But
Who did they face?
They went up against. I love the Ringer for everything they do, but their stories are so darn long.
2019 Ravens.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
That lost in the
Oh,
divisional round to
yes.
the Titans.
Yes,
Which still insane they lost that game.
it is great.
But interesting, little talking point for us back and forth here. who they have next caught my eye. Eagles versus the 2013 Broncos. Andrew DeCecco has long said that's one of the best teams he thinks that's ever played football. That 2013 Broncos team, the one that actually got crushed in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
That year they had offensively makes it a very interesting point of like Peyton Manning's final
right.
really peak season, where he honestly probably
Demaryius
was
Thomas.
his best statistical season of his career. That Broncos team
Yes.
against this 2024 Eagles team, as much as I love this Eagles team, if I could see an upset happening in this whole bracket idea, I could honestly see
That team could really put up some points. Mm-hmm. And the secondary, though good, had not been tested. I mean, obviously, Peyton Manning is one of the greatest quarterbacks. There's no doubt.
Right.
But they had elite receivers as well. That is a really good team.
And if you remember, they were down.
I don't think the Eagles are going to lose, but I don't know.
Well, and the argument against me would be that, hey, that Eagles team resembles a lot of that 2013 Seahawks team that kicked the crap out of them. So
right.
Why would you even
Especially
worry about
defensively, Legion
right.
Boom. Yes.
I do think that people forget just how much that team that Broncos team overcame quite a bit throughout that season. I'm interested, though. I know that if we ran a poll on this, it would be like 80-20 because we're coming off that Super Bowl, and this is Philadelphia. But how people think that would go.
It is.
You could line up those two.
It's funny. I remember we were talking last year, at the beginning of the season, before the season had started, so a year ago, what this defense is going to look like. Fangio is name-dropping Zach Bond, and people know that Bryce Huff's not going to be it, so there was a mess. And there were at some point halfway through the season, or not even halfway through, it was just right after the bye, either the Browns game or maybe the Jaguars game. It was just like, if this defense somehow figures it out, they could get top 15, 14 defensively. That's what in our minds that you thought
if they could be average,
a middle of the pack defense. There's no way at the end of the year there's not a single person, and I'm sure there's going to be someone that I did at the beginning of the year or even after the Jags game or the Browns game thought they would be the number one defense. There's no way you thought that. There's nothing that you had seen that it would indicate that this team would get it together to that degree, that they would become the number one defense. There's no way. So I try to lean heavier on how the entire season was if I want to think about the context of the 2024 Eagles going against a team like the 2013 Broncos, as you pointed out, that had such a high-powered offense and an elite quarterback and what he would have been able to do. But
things you forget here just about that 2013 team. Lost their left tackle in week 2 for the season. Lost Chris Harris, Derek Wolfe, Raheem Moore, Kevin Vickerson, and Von Miller to season-ending injuries by the playoffs. And they still made it to the Super Bowl. They get crushed in the Super Bowl. I do think it's closer than people imagine. I think when this poll goes out, I imagine Eagles fans will show out and take care of it. Mostly because it's being talked about right now, and people are probably going to go.
What was their AFC? Who did they beat in the AFC Championship game in 2013?
New England.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that to me says a lot too. Yes, you lost in the Super Bowl, but you beat the 2013 Patriots.
Right. Beat the Patriots at any time in that era for Peyton Manning was basically a Super Bowl in itself. With all due respect.
Yeah,
Peyton Manning
really
showing a lot of love to Jalen Hurts this week. I'll be respectful to him. Coming up for the first time at 11:30, Amy Fadool is finding out right now unless she read the show sheet. Rapid fire with Fadool.
I saw it.
We have 5 questions for Amy Fadool.
1 minute each.
1 minute each. I will time it. Your answer will be cut off, all right? You will not be able to explain any further.
The time is just a construct of the man.
1 segment will follow the clocks appropriately today while I'm hosting. It will be Rapid Fire with Fadool coming up at 11:30. She's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn. Taking you to the midday show, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies dropped the second game of the series last night against the Reds. Ranger Suarez did not have his best stuff as he allowed 6 earned runs on 92 pitches in 5 1/3 innings. Rangers' last 6 starts, he's given up a total of 24 runs. The Phillies will go for the series win with Christopher Sanchez on the mound. First pitch is set for 5:10. Eagles guard Landon Dickerson suffered a knee injury at the open practice over the weekend that will require a medical procedure, which will put him on the shelf for a little bit, which means his backup, Brett Toth, would be the next man in line, and this is what Kevin Patullo had to say about the backup.
He's a really smart individual, really good with the detail of the game. He understands a lot of positions, which is great to have a guy like that can line up in multiple spots and be able to step in if something happens. So I think that's the biggest thing he brings, and he's been in the system for a while. He understands what we want to do and the way Stout teaches it.
The Eagles return to practice field tomorrow. Nick Sirianni will speak to the media. The Union are back in action as they face the Red Bulls tonight. The match will begin at 7:30. This update's also brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with national LTE coverage for a limited time. Get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use the code RADIO for an extra 5% off. I'm Austin Jones on the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philadelphia sports.
Touchdown! Save!
Fire with Fadool. 5 questions for the one and only Amy Fadool.
I
All
do not
sports
know
related.
the question.
No, you have no idea. That's rapid fire. You're going to make your brain work here for 5 minutes. Maybe not. I mean, these are not exactly difficult
They might
questions.
be.
They could be. She's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn. Take you through the midday show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Let's go to the text line real quick because I see Austin, someone's chimed in on my turnover menu thing. And I just am curious the explanation for a turnover menu.
Oh,
Yeah, so this says the turnover menu is super simple items that are easily to cook or prepare items that are also on the dinner menu. So burgers will probably fall into that category. The whole reason for the turnover menu is because the cooks have to change out the ingredients that are in the cooler/regions for dinner service, and that usually entails different ingredients.
Got it. Okay.
So that's why burgers are on, because they would be a dinner thing. So they like to drop in a little bit.
Yeah, dinner, and then probably lunch thing. Probably crossover.
Yeah.
Probably something you can get all day long.
Crossover.
Yeah. Crossover menu.
Crossover menu would maybe make, but I get it. Turnover
Turning
is-
over the menu.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I get it.
I get it. I just wanted to explain. It's the first time I experienced it. Now, Amy, before we get to rapid fire with Fadool, I know you have probably $300 million sitting around somewhere,
I mean,
right?
obviously.
Yeah, I figured,
I work in the media.
Yeah, big TV star,
Sure.
makes sense.
Yep.
If you had $300 million to just give out, where would it go?
It would. Why does it have to leave?
That's a good point.
Can it just stay with me?
This is
It
just,
would go to buy a shore house.
it would go for me disappearing.
Yeah.
You would never,
You
if
would
I had
never see
$300
you
million,
again? 300
you
million.
might hear from me.
Yeah.
You,
I
you
hope
would be
so.
in the inner circle to hear from me.
I hope I get invited to your shore house.
Yeah. Well, I might do one of
Yes.
those like Montana,
I'd buy a
like far
plane.
far away plane. Yeah.
So you can always fly.
Right. Yeah. Well,
You don't
I
have to
would
do
fly out of wherever I am to go to the shore, but usually the shore places are very congested. I would get away from it. Kansas apparently got a $300 million gift from a donor, which is supposed to be one of the biggest gifts in the history of college athletics. It's hard to even fathom that money. It's hard for me to even sit here and think what do you do with $300 million? Let me just give $300 million to a college. Temple, I love you. $300 million is just a huge chunk of change.
300 million.
Right.
Obviously, it's over
How
the
much
course
you gotta
of time.
love something to give $300 million?
I love
to?
my alma mater. No,
He almost gave the entire Harper contract to Kansas.
I just don't understand.
He gave the entire Turner contract to Kansas.
He did. That's exactly what
Yeah.
that is. How long? Did it say how long over the time period?
It does not.
Because I imagine it's some kind of funding that each
Right.
year, but it's a 300 million total, so they divvy it up.
Do you think kids ever resent the person that donates $300 million that could have stayed in the family?
Oh, his kid.
Yeah.
If he's got 300 million, those kids are just doing just fine.
I guess. Yeah, probably. All right, rapid fire with Fadool here. We got 5 questions in Philly sports. Amy has no idea the questions that are coming here, so
I do not.
she has to live react to these very difficult, very, very intriguing questions that we have for her. She has a minute to respond to each. All right, let's start with your Philadelphia 76ers. No marquee games on the schedule for the 76ers. What do you make of what the NBA is trying to send you about the Sixers?
That they watched the 24 wins last year and the 5 wins in the last 35 games, and the fact that we know that your 2 star players with the high max contracts aren't going to start the season. Yeah, I think that they have eyeballs.
Disaster incoming?
I don't know if it's disaster. Last year was a disaster. So there's only one, Tyrese Maxey says, only one way to go, and it's up because it can't get worse. But no, I mean, it wasn't a good product. I think the league is saying that we have no guarantee. They love star players. Marquee games are star players.
Mm-hmm.
They have and that's why you can't sit star players for the marquee games. You get fined, right? So they have no guarantee of the star players playing. So they're like, we're going to take you out of the equation. That's what they're saying. It's very disappointing.
Or the NBA is being kind and saying, you guys sit whenever you want. You won't have to do it on our marquee games.
Yeah, you can't bail out of that game. No, I think they're saying we probably don't know if you guys are going to be playing.
All right, let's go to the Phillies roster. Alec Boehm potentially coming back within very soon. A recent
Week.
coming up, in the next week or so. Otto Kemp or Dub. Who goes down and why?
I got to sit down Weston Wilson. I think there's more versatility with Otto Kemp, and I like the way he swings a bat better. For me, that's just me. Personally, I think he can play a lot of different positions. I know Weston Wilson can too, but they're both really 4A players, if you think about it. But I'm going to stick with Otto Kemp.
So Otto Kemp for the defensive versatility
Yes.
and the fact you just like the swing better.
I like his swing. I think he hits the ball.
He's got a higher OPS right now?
Weston Wilson has a higher. What is the OPS of Weston Wilson?
Hey, the other night, that big
Oh,
hit.
okay. You're right.
I'm just saying, Weston
I just
Wilson.
want to give me the numbers if you're going to try to talk me out of.
The truther in me here, Weston Wilson right now, I think it was 758 when I looked yesterday, and if it pulls up right here, nope, okay, of course. Anyone paying the Wi-Fi? I mean, I got no Wi-Fi in my own life. It's 754 right now.
Okay, and Otto Kemp.
Otto Kemp was in the 600 last I looked.
Yeah, that's not good, Amy.
Yeah. No, I mean you are the majority opinion. I will tell you that 670 for Otto Kemp. You are the majority opinion. Most people think that it's going to be Weston Wilson that goes down because of Otto Kemp's defensive versatility, and I think Kevin yesterday was saying he thinks that the Phillies just see more of a long-term future with Kemp than Wilson. So I understand,
All
but
right.
I'm going to be the one campaigning.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Bill Mantle here. Dub. All right. Biggest concern for one, Amy Fadool leading into Eagle season.
Biggest concern? The secondary. I probably can't pick out either safety or cornerback. Pass rush comes to mind a little bit, but I'm not as concerned. So I'm going to say secondary. You looked at the way that Jamar Chase was able to carve them up with those guys. Like Keely Ringo had 4 targets, and Chase connected on all 4 targets. There was a touchdown, and then you had Adoree Jackson come in there. He had 5 targets, 4 catches on the 5 targets. That's problematic. They obviously made the trade, sending Booker away and bringing in Bennett, but that's an issue because they're going to be able to really pinpoint the weakness out there. They know who's on the other side. They know Quinyon Mitchell's going to be just fine. That's a concern. They're going to miss Darius Slay.
If you could pick just one to address from here to the end of camp, safety or corner, which?
Corner.
Corner?
For sure.
All right. And your fourth question here in Rapid Fire with Fadool. Teams that concern, or the team, excuse me, that concerns you the most in the NFC.
This guy could be lame and say no one, but I think that the Rams.
Get real confident.
Yeah, no one's going to touch us. I'm always, my first thought was the Lions, just because I think that they're always a very well constructed team. They obviously had a lot of injuries and they're coming back. They had a huge loss in their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator, but they have the identity of their head coach. The Rams are the sexy pick. I think everybody thinks that they're going to, but I'm going to stick with the Lions. I think the Lions, because I really think Dan Campbell imprints himself on that team, the way they operate. You have Aiden Hutchinson come back. You have a lot of guys that were missing last year that will be back. So I'm going to go with the Lions.
All right, the Lions, the choice for the most concerning team in the NFC. And your final question, the Phillies outfielder that deserves to play every day the most at this point in the season is?
The answer is no one. There is not an answer. That is a trick question. There is not an answer to that. There's not an answer.
Why not?
That's unfair because they're all temporary guys. They all have a deficiency, and it's glaring. Nick Castellanos, for lack of a better, that's awful. That's a terrible question.
That's a wonderful question. Look at how perplexed you are over the question.
I was like, what is he going to ask? Play what? No. No. I am tongue-tied right now because there's no one. Every single game, no one's hit. No. No one. The
nobody.
Answer is no.
The answer is nobody.
Yes. But if I have to name a human, I will go Nick Castellanos.
Okay.
That's the easier answer. But come on.
I didn't realize I was pulling teeth with that fifth question there.
That's terrible. There's
fantastic question. Look how upset you are about the question. It's a great question.
It's unfair. There's no answer there. What's your answer?
Ferris Bader.
Why?
Even splits against righty, left-handed in terms of batting. He's having one of his better hitting seasons of his career.
He's a little reverse split, though, isn't he?
I mean, a little bit of reverse, which does make him a platoon guy.
Right.
So pretty even in terms of the way he's...
Defensively, he's very good.
Right. Good center fielder. You figure out the corners there. Castellanos is good. He's not a good defender, and he hasn't been hitting against righties over the last couple months.
Oh, that's awful. The answer is no one.
The answer, all right. If the answer is no one, I'll give you that answer.
Yeah,
I'll give you that answer.
Good.
Amy Fadool says nobody deserves to play. All right.
I just meant as a full. No one has stepped to the forefront. Castellanos has deficiencies, certainly now offensively. We all know defensively. I hear all the, he doesn't have errors. Well, because he can't get to the ball half the time. Harrison Bader, the reverse split is a little bit disconcerting for me, but if there's anybody, he would be a number one. I don't mind Marsh playing. You know who I don't need to see anymore is Max Kepler. And if I hear one more person say, "Yeah, but no, that he's last." I had to rank them.
I think I ran into one of the Kepler brigade. I don't know where it was. I don't know if it was on the air, if it was on Twitter. There was someone.
I've seen them out there.
Yeah, there's a few left. Few and far between.
That's hard.
It's the proud, watch the fans of Max Kepler left in this city.
Well, the people that I talk to, if they're fans of Max Kepler, are not interested in anything that he does at the dish.
Well, yeah. Hey, listen, I've heard those people have also given me. Yeah, those people have also.
You see more of that.
Yeah.
But he would be last.
Yeah,
He would probably go Bader, Marsh, Castellanos.
I could start naming names of friends of mine that. Now with Kepler's up.
Oh,
good.
See,
I appreciate that's why you like him. All right.
At least they're honest about it.
Can't hit.
All
right. Coming up next, we'll get back into the Suarez conversation and looking at the long term with Ranger Suarez, the conversation looming with him up for free agency coming up after this season. She's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn. Taking you through middays here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Maybe you should sign me up for being a platoon guy. Maybe I'll take this new configuration. Just play the hot hand, whatever Robbie Thompson's feeling.
life talks when two of us work together.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Good things going on. Right. Yeah. I'd say so.
Big softball match.
Yeah. Whatever. I'll play well tonight.
I know you will.
I'll try my best. She's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn. Austin Jones producing the show. And I want to get back to the text line real quick because we're going to get into the Ranger Suarez conversation again here. Because I do think they have Ranger Suarez problem at this point. I don't think I'm necessarily stepping out on a limb. I don't think anyone's going to say I burned the city down with that take right there. But it does lead to a longer-term conversation. But I threw out 5 questions for Amy Fadool in the last segment, Rapid Fire with Fadool. We're going to be doing that at 11:30 tomorrow.
Correct.
And on Friday.
I'm here with you for the rest of the week.
That's true. Can confirm that.
Yay.
Coming up at noon, we have the NFL Notes at noon. Austin Jones going to get his first chance to roll through that, so I'm excited about that as well. But you have up there that someone chimed in on the outfielder conversation. Who deserves most to play every day? What do we got on the text line?
Yeah, so this is from Mike. He says the answer is either Bader or Marsh. The one player that does not deserve regular time would be Castellanos. He stinks.
It has been, honestly, the floodgates opened with the idea that they might take playing time away from him. And then everyone that had been waiting in the wings to come after Castellanos was
like, this is my time.
I've got it.
They've risen up. They've got their pickets.
I will say, I would be interested to see what Marsh looks like on an everyday basis when he's going this good.
See, I don't mind Marsh. I get that the way that he started this season was atrocious. I mean, at one point it was like 105. I mean, it was just awful, and he knows that. And to see where his average is now just says how much of a better season that he had to get it up to the point. So I don't mind him. I never minded him in center field. I think he plays an okay center field. I think he plays obviously a better corner outfield. I wouldn't mind seeing him in right field. What could that look like? I've seen him in left. He doesn't look bad. He's swinging the bat better.
And
he plays decent defense.
The big day coming up. August 15th. After August 15th, you'll be able to retain rookie eligibility for Justin Crawford for next year.
Right.
And could this be, I had this conversation with Connor, the Kepler Castellanos thing could be a soft launch for a Marsh Castellanos thing, where Crawford is your everyday left field. Just an idea.
They have been playing him out there a couple different times down there in Lehigh.
Just something I'm floating out there. If it happens, don't worry. I won't be sitting here saying I came up with it.
But
though
you
I
might. You might.
Though I might.
Take a smidge of credit for it.
I could. Listen, if the Phillies need some help making plans out there.
So August 16th, what would your outfield look like?
If that happened?
If Justin Crawford comes up, what does your outfield look like?
It's absurd. It's absurd we got at this point, Castellanos, where they're considering it. Because I almost can't I can't make it work in my mind because it's the same guy that complained about being replaced defensively and then they never did again. So it's hard for me to think that they're actually going to consider platooning or taking time away from Castellanos. Which is why I almost think August 16th, if you left it up to me, it doesn't matter because it's not up to me and it's not really up to Rob Thompson.
Yeah, the decision's made. But is there a scenario? I don't know.
Crawford, Bader, and then you figure out what you're doing with right field, those two. Yeah. It's hard, though, to take Marsh out of the lineup when he's going this good. Like, out of the lineup against righties, for sure. And it's hard to justify having Castellanos in the lineup against righties when he's going this poorly against them. So, ultimately, you bring up Crawford. You want Crawford to play every day. There's your opportunity. Bader, we've mentioned the splits and how he doesn't really make sense as a platoon guy. Right. But I guess that would be your logical platoon in center field. It would just be a little like...
Let's just platoon everything. You got a platoon in left. You can put Otto Kemp out there. Like,
It should be Crawford. Listen, let me just say it. I'm going to rip the bait off. Crawford, Bader, Marsh Cassidy.
Thank you.
That's really the way I would do it.
That's what you should do. World Series teams don't have 3 or 4. They have 4 platoon positions. 4?
No, 3 though. Honestly, across baseball, the platoon, like the Rangers did it a ton the year they won. The year that the Phillies should have won.
So they have like a platoon at second base, a platoon for every single outfield position. Stop.
Well, they're not going to platoon every outfield position at this point.
Platoon at least 2 of them.
Yeah, they've been doing that.
I know.
Now they're trying to change the one you're platoon.
Right, that's true. Yeah, we're just going to switch it off. We're going to left instead of right.
All right, real quick here on the Suarez thing. We talked about the issue they have right now The issue they have long term with this, I think after the season, qualifying offer would make sense for him. Obviously, what you might get in terms of compensation there and what he's given you, and you've seen that for months at a time, he could be a very effective starter for you. 2-3 months of the season, and you need to cover those innings throughout the season. I see value in that. I think the Dodgers model of just like we're going to cover innings as much as we can throughout the season, and then hopefully we have all of our upside guys ready by October is not bad for a big market team. I will say this month for Ranger Suarez is exactly the reason why when everyone says I want to give him that big contract after the season, I get very, very uneasy. And I almost like I never want to see someone's free agency market fall apart, but the way I see him back in the Phillies uniform is that. Because I think this is the type of thing that scares people off. It's also the type of thing that all the people are like, trade him at deadline, trade him at deadline. Other teams have seen this trend with him.
Right.
Other teams understand what was going to happen. They also understand Boris wasn't going to just sign an extension with you because you traded for him.
Yeah.
That's why part of his best value to the Eagles. I saw the Eagles players starting to speak with the media. I got the text. Part of his best value to the Phillies was being a Philly, which is why you didn't make that trade.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing for me with Suarez. But I'm curious for people, has this changed what you believe Suarez, I know Hal from Naples was like, yeah, get him out of here. Change what you believe for him as a long-term play.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, and I pulled up the numbers because I know you referenced them. So the last 6 starts, you're looking at 35 and a third innings. That's a little problematic right there, right? 6 starts, 35. That's not what you're looking for. But in that, there's 35 and a third, 46 hits, 24 earned runs. That's a 6.11 ERA in 6 starts. And he had a minuscule just over 2 ERA in the first half of the season. Now, obviously, there's a lot of things that go into that. But it's problematic when you have a guy that's clearly struggling right now, and it's the second year in a row that he's dealt with back issues and command issues in the second half of the season, which if you're the Phillies or any team that's going to be interested in a guy that at one point we were talking about a Cy Young candidate last year and this year, both before the All-Star break, you have postseason hopes.
I'll say it. I would, if I was a president of baseball operations, I would not give a long-term,
I would think
big money contract
like
to the Rangers.
Like a 2 or 3 year deal. I think you could manage that. They have a lot of guys to pay. They've made no bones. John Middleton has made no bones. We'd love to have Kyle Schwarber back. Well, that's going to be a large.
They have to
chunk. I ran into some people last night, and they were talking about the Phillies and whatever else, and there was like, what's going to happen with Kyle Schwarber? I mean, I don't know, obviously. But all I can think of is if the Phillies don't re-sign Kyle Schwarber, the amount of vitriol that the fan base will...
Stop. You're making me shake. I don't even want to think about this reality.
It's awful. But you also have to pay JT Realmuto.
He's not getting a raise, though.
He might not get a raise, but you have to pay him dollars.
He's got to get paid. And the guy we just talked about right field could be someone that's moved, and you're going to have to pay down some of that contract, but he's in the last year of it. That becomes somewhat expiring.
Yes, there's part of it that you'll have to eat for Castellanos, but so listen, I know it's an open checkbook, and John Middleton has been willing to pay whatever, but you do have to have certain numbers in there, right?
Yeah, you do. And I'm just curious for people how their long-term plans, their long-term view of Ranger Suarez. Suarez?
Yeah, 2 years.
He accepts a qualifying offer.
I mean, he's not going to. No. You don't think he's not going to accept a qualifying offer.
The problem is, I don't know what his market is so volatile because, are the Orioles desperate and have money to spend?
He's 8-6 right now, right? The Orioles certainly haven't spent any money.
Right, but they need starting pitching, and part of the justification is, well, this year's past market didn't look great, and he becomes a left-hander on the market. Do they see, there might be a team that's like, we could fix him. We can make him work for 162.
There's always somebody out there.
Oh yeah, trust me.
Someone always wants to. They can fix your ex. Yeah. They can do it.
We
can teach Ben Simmons how to shoot a basketball. We can do it.
Coming up, NFL Notes at noon with Austin Jones, getting back into some conversation around the NFL. More Eagles coming up in that 12 o'clock hour. But how would you manage the long term of Ranger Suarez? Both right now, we're talking about with this rotation, but in terms of pursuing a contract for him in the offseason, would you bring him back? 610-632-0975. She's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn. Take you through middays right here, 975 The Fanatic.
Now, on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies dropped the second game of the series last night against the Reds. Ranger Suarez did not have his best stuff as he allowed 6 earned runs on 92 pitches and 5 1/3 innings pitched. In Rangers' last 6 starts, he's given up a total of 24 runs. The Phillies do go for the series win against the Reds with Christopher Sanchez on the mound. First pitch is set for 5-10. And with the struggles of Ranger Suarez, it means the return of Aaron Nola could be what the Phillies need to fix the rotation as he pitched in his rehab start last night, going 5 2/3, allowing 2 earned runs and striking out 11 batters. Eagles guard Landon Dickerson suffered a knee injury over the past weekend at the Eagles open practice that will require a medical procedure that will likely put him on the shelf. Earlier today, Kevin Patullo spoke about his backup, and this is what he had to say.
He's a really smart individual, really good with the detail of the game. He understands a lot of positions, which is great to have a guy like that that can line up in multiple spots and be able to step in if something happens. So I think that's the biggest thing he brings. And he's been in the system for a while. He understands what we want to do and the way Stout teaches it.
This update's also brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with national LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for an extra 5% off. I'm Austin Jones on the home of the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hi, my name is Phil E. And for most
Midday show here on 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, WPN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibility. She's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn. Austin Jones producing the show. You're going to hear from Austin in just a moment as we get to NFL notes at noon. And a note on what I said earlier about Patullo. I just had a couple of observations. He's a more polished Sirianni at the podium.
Doesn't give you much.
Yeah, he's not giving you a ton, but he's also not going just droning on. We heard about Brett Toth. Good. He seemed to be a big fan of Jahan Dotson, and I noticed that he's a blinker.
Blinking. I've got to
Just
watch
blinks a
now.
lot. I just maybe it's a normal amount, and I just don't notice with anyone else. I just noticed I got called insane by Silvana. Silvana texted me, "You're insane." But that's just something I noticed. I apologize. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one that knows it. If anyone else knows it while he was talking, I'm not going to tell you to go watch it now because, you're tuned in here, and I wouldn't want to lose you there. But at some point, go look at it. Tell me if I'm insane or if that's the case. It had nothing to do with his ability to call an offense. I'm just trying to find tells. There are certain tells when people are maybe not being fully truthful or just, working things around. If he just blinks a ton, then that's just who he is. But if I can find out what he really means by things, by body language, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a normal thing. I got called insane. That's very rude, honestly. I saw it. Maybe I have to go talk to someone about this.
I want to. Now I'm going to. You realize now I'm self-conscious about my blinking. So now I don't want to blink. But then I'm going to be. You're going to have.
No, I don't think you're a blinker.
I know I'm not. But now I'm like, what is an abnormal amount of blinking? Was it like rapid fire blinking?
It was a few in a row, which caught my eye to it, and I was like,
So sometimes I think. I don't know. I'm
maybe
going to have
I
to look
am.
at it.
Maybe I don't know. It's hard to tell. All right. One thing that I don't know if it's going to make the NFL notes at noon because it just happened. But people, if you were going Saturday for the show, Shedeur Sanders, potentially the greatest preseason quarterback the league has ever seen.
You're just dismissing Sam Bradford.
Yes. Also Tanner McKee. I'm dismissing.
Oh, well, that's true.
Those two guys, this is the preseason Super Bowl this Saturday down there at Lincoln Financial Field. Schefter, Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders suffered an oblique injury while throwing during the early portion of practice and was held out for the rest of the session.
That's it. Well, didn't he get hurt earlier in camp? That's why they signed Tyler Huntley to have a camp body because they weren't sure they were going to have enough quarterbacks to even have, fulfill the roster for the preseason game. Huntley was signed there 3 weeks ago.
Which it doesn't make any sense because they have 35 quarterbacks.
Exactly, which means they have none. But yes,
right.
One of them is on the older side and would never play in a preseason game.
Yeah. So he's a roster lock.
Yeah, Joe Flacco.
Right. Flacco's a roster lock. Pickett, they made the deal
They made the trade for, so you would think he's in.
So it's Gabriel, Sanders.
Sanders is making the team. There's your three. He's a practice squad guy.
Dylan Gabriel getting drafted before him and then being released whatever. I am not going to go there. But yes, if you were interested in seeing them on Sanders on Saturday, I can't tell you that that's not going to happen, but I just want to let you know the oblique happened. Okay? Let's get to our NFL notes at noon with Austin Jones.
Yes. Love this music here. Takes me back to when I was a wee lad. All right, starting off with maybe someone that's a pivotal player here in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers. Not sure how you both feel about him. He is a media clown, if you want to go that route. But there's another reason why he is not happy. He's played in the NFL for 20 years, and that as time moves forward, that means equipment changes, right? So going into this season with the Steelers, Rodgers is not too pleased with the new helmets, and this is what he had to say.
Yeah, I still don't like it. No, I don't like it. No, I'm trying to change. We're in the process still. Looks like a damn spaceship out there. I got to change it. The face mask doesn't fit the helmet because it's an old face mask, obviously, just like I'm old. But we're trying to find the right helmet right now.
Just like I'm old. Sorry, I'm so exhausted by this guy. This guy, my buddy's a Steelers fan. And he's like, yeah, we got it. I'm like,
no. I know a number of Steelers fans. There's no way your buddy was excited.
No, he was. I showed him the calendar. I said, what year does that say?
I'm guessing they're excited just because he's not Russ.
Right.
Or Justin Fields.
That's a very low bar.
Such a low
bar. I like
bar.
him because he's not I mean, they already you just had a washed-up quarterback last year.
Feels like Tomlin's dream team season. Like I feel like the
dream
time's
team
coming.
like Vince Young. Haha.
Yeah. Like I feel like that. Like that.
That's not good. That is like the death knell.
That story arc, though, I feel like is where we're going. Like I think Tomlin could have an Andy Reid second act somewhere. I just think it has to be done in Pittsburgh soon. And I do think Aaron Rodgers is kind of the end of that. Because Aaron Rodgers does kind of seem like at this point is just the one that breaks apart everything.
Well, Tomlin actively wanted Rodgers.
They spoke on the phone,
I know.
Ray.
That's what I mean. Like Tomlin is having that, okay, things are about to kind of fall here. And I think things are about to fall there. The new helmet, oh, yeah, it's so
I don't
bad.
really care about that. It's not the newest helmet.
Mind you, this is the guy that still has like the paper mache chin strap.
Right.
You know.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Listen, I was a
had
Rodgers
when I
guy
was
for a lot
little.
of his career. I've just been grown exhausted with him.
Yeah,
It's
he's
time for it to be
obviously has had a tremendous career earlier in it. Throws a great ball, deep ball for him. Some of the routes that those receivers would run, and he would find them great. But that ship has sailed.
Yeah, it's 2025.
Are you really one of your Steelers friends? They were excited.
Yeah.
No.
I love the guy.
That is delusional.
I don't want to rip him enough on the air.
That's delusional.
Yeah. Speaking of tremendous careers, Denzel Washington, one of favorite actors of all time, but he hurt me yesterday as I found out he is a Dallas Cowboys fan despite being from Mount Vernon, New York. But since he's a Cowboys fan, he has to deal with Jerry Jones. And Denzel had a message for Jerry when he was on First Take yesterday with the one and only Stephen A.
There's box office and there's Oscars, Jerry. Been a while, huh? You ain't been to the show, you wouldn't know. Wouldn't been to the show, you wouldn't know.
Uh-oh.
Haven't been to the show, so you wouldn't know what it is to win.
I don't need to add.
I feel like we could
And I love the Cowboys. I love the Cowboys because I really love them. This is the way I feel, the way I feel. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about the movie.
And that's what. And I wanted to get back to the movie because you didn't bring the.
Speaking of the movie,
up in the
same
movie,
thing.
Highest to lowest. You didn't bring it. You didn't bring it up.
And what does it say down the bottom of the movie?
What?
Or does it say it on the one sheet?
What does it say?
All money ain't good money, Jerry.
All money ain't good money, Jerry. Thoughts, concerns, feelings?
Hey, man, we got a bandwagon if you want to jump on. Feel free, Denzel.
Come on down.
Like
it's closer.
He had explained earlier in that hit he did with them that, like, he was played for the Red Raiders when he was young, I guess then Texas Tech, and he had said something to the extent, like, the way they played football was the way the Cowboys played football. And
his high school played football similar to the Cowboys.
So No. You played similar to the Cowboys, not the Cowboys playing similar to you. Also,
your high school in Mount Vernon, New York. Jerry Jones was scouting back then.
Jerry, I'm sorry, Denzel, you're having a bad time. I don't know what to tell you on this one. I don't feel bad.
I like that line, though.
I like Denzel.
All money is not good money.
Yeah.
That's a good line.
That's a good line. Him also talking about Oscars versus box office favorites. Yeah.
You haven't been to the show. Well, he knows they haven't been to the show. They haven't been to the Super Bowl in 30 years.
Yeah, people can go see a movie and be like, oh, yeah, I paid to go see that movie, and a movie can win an Oscar. Jerry Jones doesn't know about winning the Oscar. He knows about putting people in the seats to watch a movie.
That's true.
And it's the same movie every year.
And for 3 decades now.
Hilarious.
But we'll continue to take that type of movie here in Philly.
Yeah,
I love that. It's opening day.
Yes, it is. All right, so last one here for us. This year's Hard Knocks team is the Buffalo Bills, and they played the New York Giants in the first preseason game, who is the one and only Jameis Winston on the team, who we all come to love as a media member here. And we know that he can be a character. Just listen to what he had to say to Mike White, backup quarterback on the Bills.
Hey, you're not that tall. Stop telling people that you're 6'5". You're not
I don't
6'5".
tell anybody. It's the screen.
Stop telling people you're 6'5".
I don't lie.
Good job. Where the ball?
I'm 6 foot. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. If that's what, no, you don't need, Mike White, you don't need to say it. The screen says.
That's right. Can we get a lower third for me on the
Yeah.
YouTube that says Ray Dunn, 6 foot?
I find it.
Jameis is a very entertaining guy. I
great.
have to say I haven't watched Hard Knocks yet, which seems kind of sacrilegious because I used to be a big fan of watching it. I don't have the same drive to watch it.
I'm with you. The offseason one last year was just.
Oh, that was must-see TV there.
Right.
It was also a one-off because you'll never see it again, but because no team will ever put themselves in that position. Because how many times have you seen, Maris say, like, I'm just going to lose a lot of sleep if Saquon goes to the Eagles. I mean, that clip lives rent-free in every Eagles fan's head. So I'm with you, though. when I found out it was the Bills, it didn't have the same pull. I was like, all right, that's a nice team. I didn't think I needed like more drama. I needed a team that's going to have like a quarterback competition, or they're coming back from, a disastrous season. I don't know.
I feel like watching the Bills through the playoff run would be better behind the scenes content.
Oh, yes.
Like, this is the year we get the Chiefs. In August doesn't really hit the same as this is the journey to get the Chiefs in the championship game.
Right.
So that's just my personal opinion. Thank you so much, Austin. I appreciate it.
That's good stuff.
Work on that
NFL
one
notes
coming up. We
at
got
noon.
people chiming in on Ranger and the Castellanos. You open up the floodgates for Castellanos to get crushed, and people are more than happy to do it. So we'll get to that. Also, are the Brewers ever going to lose again? I don't know if everyone's like, I know they're Milwaukee, so it's not like top of
It's kind
mind
of like
here.
Tree Force situation.
But oh my gosh.
Are you buying them, though? We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. She's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn right here, middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philadelphia Union Soccer.
Good combination play on the near side. They flick it over to a racing
The midday show here on 97.5 The Fanatic alongside Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn. It's 12 o'clock hour brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at servicefirst.hvac.com. Now, got into a number of Phillies concerns. If you missed it, you didn't miss much last night. 6-1 loss to the Reds. You might have missed absolutely something that is illegal, immoral, wrong.
Immoral.
It's disgusting. It's a gross act. And people are like, oh, you're just saying this because you're... No. I honestly, when it happened, like, and I could go through, I forget which one of my friends texted me, like, this has to be not allowed, right? And if you miss what I'm talking about, Kyle Schwarber caught the first pitch from his dad, from his youth baseball coach at the Reds game. Wasn't the Phillies setting this up. The Reds set this up as he's an impending free agent from the area of Cincinnati. And I know our text line had something on this. So I'm curious. We'll go back to it right now. Austin Jones producing the show. Austin, what do you got for me on people being upset about Kyle Schwarber?
Said it's not tampering when Bryce Harper was being interviewed after a game, and he said, of course I'm going to call Mike Trout to get him here.
Well,
yeah, I mean, that was tampering too, but that's the player doing it. Like
it's not
idea,
the team setting it up. The Phillies, when Mike Trout comes back here, which he has obviously come back here every year, you always see him now. He's never been a ceremonial first pitch participant as far as catching the ball from his dad or his little league coach.
It's odd. Like there's a video of Halliburton.
They could have like Zach Ertz throw it out because obviously they're tough.
There's a video of Halliburton at the Olympics saying Embiid should come to Indiana. That's a video that exists. That's a real thing. I watched that with my own two eyes. I listened to it with my own two ears. That's a real thing that happened. Things played out. But at the time, that's like, hey.
Well, Joel Embiid sat next to Paul George during the finals. Give him the eyeballs.
If you don't think players talk, you're naive. But that's player to player. Bryce Harper cannot put a check in front of Mike Trout. Now, some people that think he's general manager of the team think that maybe he has that power. But he can nudge his friend or nudge someone to come here. But I think it's different when the team is actually setting something up. Right. Me personally.
I really want to know how this came to be. I'm dying to know.
I already called out who I needed to do the investigative report.
I need to know where the tickets came from, obviously how they got him there. But did they call the Little League coach and he says, or did they call the dad and the dad said, well, you should have at least like the Little League coach or the youth baseball coach.
Whatever
Why
it is.
You had two people.
It reeks. Reeks of tampering. Now, we got some people chiming in on Ranger Suarez. They have a Ranger Suarez problem right now. We've established that what to do about it is a big question. Also, what the long-term play is with him is another question here, given his looming free agency. What do we got on the text line there?
Yeah, so this is from Kevin from New Jersey. I love how Nola never had any serious injuries in his career, and this year has been one bad year, and everyone says it's a terrible contract. But Ranger has an injury history and hasn't started the year healthy multiple years. His velocity is down, but people want to give him a long-term contract. Make it make sense.
It is interesting. The perspective on the two, I think Nola comes up with the expectation that he has to be a top-end arm for this team and has to carry that through his career, the weight of that expectation on him. He also has the stink of some bad teams on him. Like he was
here for... People forget. Maybe they don't forget, but maybe they just misremember how long he's been here, Aaron Nola.
Yeah, he started the next day after the Hamels no-hitter, right?
Yes.
Or his debut was the week of the Hamels no-hitter.
Yes.
Yeah, he's been here.
So Cole Hamels last year in the Philadelphia Phillies uniform was Aaron Nola's first year.
Correct. And now Cole Hamels is
on the
with
broadcast
you at NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Let's put that perspective right there.
So maybe that's
guys that
what
are going
it
in the
is.
Wall of Fames now, and he was playing.
Right.
With them.
I am interested in why that is the case for people. And maybe someone can explain that to me. 610-632-0975. Why we take more to Ranger than we take to Aaron Nola.
I'm wondering if it's just in Aaron Nola, it's always been the workhorse, and that the validation there about him he has not missed significant time. This is obviously the most he's ever missed, and this is a significant chunk of the season. He's not missed it. You look at his innings pitched, and it's like 130, 129, 133. It's always very high. Very reliable, a guy that's going to get you 30 starts pretty much every single season. Maybe it's the lack of flashiness at times. Maybe it's the fact that, he didn't have that, quick spark of where you saw Ranger where there was 1 year, and I can't remember what year it was, maybe 5 years ago, that Nola was in the Cy Young conversation, like a runner-up or third place.
It's been
8 years.
Well,
It's
I
been a
guess he
while.
was fourth place in 2022. So
There you go.
There you go.
Well, I was thinking maybe it was
everyone
a
was
little
thinking about that 2018 season. That's
Yes,
what everyone
that's
goes
what I'm
back to.
thinking, too.
And I always harken back to it, and then I
7
realized
years ago.
2018. Yeah, well,
I was like, nah, it's like 5 years. So what? I guess he.
you don't want to ask where I was. That's the year. Yeah.
But that's the thing. But you had these really brilliant flashes with Ranger. His ERA, he started 6-0, and his ERA was 1.5. He's had 2 of those, and so I think maybe that could come from it, where Aaron Nola didn't have that flash of brilliance, but he's had this long-term, consistent, good, solid pitching. But it's just not as flashy as a 6-1 start with a 2 ERA.
No, and
or 5-0, or the different ways that he started.
If you lead into this season and you go from like 21 to 2024, the ERA is higher for Nola over that time. And Nola did have the expectation of being one of those top arms.
Right.
I will say, though, if you go from 2021 to 2024 in terms of the innings that they pitched, Nola ends up giving you over 200 more innings than Ranger in that time.
Yeah, it's not close.
And that's part of it. Ranger at that time, also in 2021, it's important to give the context that he was a reliever for part of the season.
Right.
And so, but when you go looking at these things, he's giving you a lot more over a longer period of time. It is weird people don't take to him that way. So I will say, I think the best case for me as a guy that follows the Phillies is the market falling apart for Ranger Suarez and him coming back here. That could happen. There also are teams that are needy for starting pitching. I'll say the upside for him is worth paying him that money.
Yeah.
He is not priority 1 and probably not even priority 2 for me this offseason, as much as I've wanted to explore what they could do at catcher outside of JT. I don't think the top 2 priorities for Phillies have to be Schwarber or Realmuto.
Yes, number 1.
Yeah.
As far as re-signing who they currently have, obviously they have other priorities outside, because why not throw a couple more outfilders into your mix out there? Just really mix it up.
So coming up here, I did ask the question, will the Brewers ever lose again? And the answer could be no. They've won 11 in a row, and they didn't just beat Paul Skeens. They made Paul Skeens look human.
Which is do not see.
Substantial.
Yes.
4 innings, 4 earned runs, only 4 strikeouts. His ERA is back above 2. I don't know how Pittsburgh will recover from this one. But I am curious for people as we look towards the postseason, what are the teams you're looking at? And an interesting kind of fun conversation that popped up. James Harden went on some streamer's stream. I don't know. I'm supposed to be the young guy here, with the times here. I've tried the whole Twitch thing before, more streaming the college football game than anything else.
Yeah?
I haven't done
you've streamed yourself playing?
Yes, I have.
Have you ever logged in to see someone like Tyrese Maxey or whatever play?
No, I was more the watch me do it than watch anyone else do it type thing.
Okay.
Sure. Maybe that's hypocritical.
Yeah, perfect.
But the kid's in the the person is in the gamer chair sitting next to James Harden asking him questions. And one of them was his all-time starting 5. Embiid ended up on his all-time starting 5.
They love each other.
Yeah. Well, it was weird because the Embiid story and ESPN said he doesn't talk to Harden anymore.
I don't know that he talks to anybody anymore if they're no longer teammates. He's got his own stuff.
We know they loved each other as teammates.
Correct.
For sure. I could still see the image of him winning MVP and Harden jumping on the whole thing.
So excited.
If you had to go with Embiid starting 5 at teammates through his career. Coming up, we'll get to that later on at 12 o'clock hour. She's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn, taking you through this Wednesday here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. This update is brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that is built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. The Phillies dropped the second game in the series against the Reds last night. Ranger Suarez did not have his best stuff as he allowed 6 earned runs on 92 pitches and 5 1/3 innings pitched. In Rangers' last 6 starts, he's given up a total of 24 runs. The Phillies will go for the series win against the Reds today. Christopher Sands is on the mound. First pitch is set for 5:10. Eagles guard Landon Dickerson suffered a knee injury over the weekend at the Eagles practice that will put him on the shelf for a little while. That means his backup Brett Toth would be the next guard in line, and this is what Kevin Patullo had to say about the backup guard.
He's a really smart individual, really good with the detail of the game. He understands a lot of positions, which is great to have a guy like that can line up in multiple spots and be able to step in if something happens. So I think that's the biggest thing he brings, and he's been in the system for a while, He understands what we want to do and the way Stout teaches it.
The Union will be back in action tonight against the Red Bulls. The match is set to start at 7:30. This update is also brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with national LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for an extra 5% off. I'm Austin Jones on the home of the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
News, Amy. Not good news.
What happened?
I'm Ray Dunn, taking you through the midday show. She's Amy Fadool, Austin Jones. Ja'Cory and Bennett also disappointing us in practice today.
In the joint practice.
Joint practice, Eagles, Browns. Brooks Cabino of The Athletic tweeting out, not a good practice in team drills so far for Ja'Cory Bennett. Someone got ahead of him for a touchdown. Jerry Jeudy beat him, and then he got pass interference. When you have 3 second corners, you have none.
Yeah, exactly.
This is bad. This is very, very bad.
This is bad.
This is bad?
Yeah, well, it ain't good. You asked me. I didn't know that at the time. You asked me earlier, which if I had to choose one, rapid fire.
Yeah, that's what we came to yesterday. I'm curious, Austin, would you also, because I'd like to kind of gauge the room here if it's just a unanimous. You
got there. You found it.
If we all agree on.
If there was a consensus. Maybe an easier word for you.
If we all agree on something, the corner would be the one position you address before the season.
Yes.
Okay. So, that seems to be.
I think it's pretty general.
Yeah. You can galaxy brain it for sure, saying, well, if you had a better pass rush, it doesn't matter as much. Or if you have a safety over the top that you believe
you're
in,
okay.
you're okay. So there's ways to look at it beyond that. Maybe that's not even galaxy brain. That's just like a different perspective.
Yeah.
Right. And they open with the Cowboys, who have George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. I know we like to yell and scream at how he's, not always the best quarterback, but he's still at least top 15 at minimum.
Right. Oh, you could run into some trouble week 1. Speaking of the Cowboys, the NFL franchise values came out today. Sportico released that. Eagles coming in at 6. Could you name the 5 franchises with a higher value? Eagles
higher
worth
value.
$8.43 billion.
Incredible.
Which Amy Fadool
obviously I already had the 300.
That.
Yeah, I already had the $300 million to give to somebody.
I
would never give it to Kansas. I'm going to say the Cowboys.
Yep, number 1.
I'm going to say the Commanders. No, they're
10.
below. They just go for 5. So.
Yeah, they're now worth 7.47.
Yeah. Give me one of the LA teams. Give me the Rams.
That's number 2.
Number 3 is going to be the Giants.
Correct.
Number 4, and if you can watch me on YouTube, I am not looking anywhere, and I'm not certainly looking at YouTube. They always think I cheat off of them.
Uh-huh.
So I need what? 2 more or 1 more?
Yeah, 2 more.
2 more. Okay. Is there? Is there an AFC team I need to hit? Because those are all NFC teams.
Mm-hmm.
An AFC team. Is it the team that's the Steelers?
Nope. Steelers are.
That's not a super value.
Where are they?
Not on the list.
They didn't make the top
too
32. No, they're 17.
Wow. Interesting. That's very low. Okay, I'm
Team
getting distracted.
very relevant in the 21st century.
The Ravens. The Bills?
Oh
my gosh.
Team that's the most relevant in the 21st century.
Oh, the Patriots.
Yes.
Good Lord.
There you go.
I completely blanked out because once they started losing, it was like, okay, fine. I don't have to think about you ever again. I cannot believe that I blanked out on the Patriots. Wow.
And number 5.
Number 5.
NFC.
NFC. So it's all NFC teams and the Pats. Give me the Seahawks.
Right division. I like that we have a soundboard, and I'm just becoming my own soundboard.
The Niners?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Ding, ding, ding. All right, so I got 3 right off the bat.
Yeah. No, it was impressive by you. That was good work by you on that one.
So I go by the Patriots.
Real quick, I mentioned earlier, will the Brewers ever lose again? They've won 11 games in a row, and Jason Stark kind of flirted with this idea at the end of our talk with him yesterday. And if you want to listen to that full conversation, Jason Stark, our website, 975thefanatic.com. Great time talking, catching up with him about all things baseball. But he wanted to jump into, what path would you prefer if you get to the postseason? Because we're starting to get to that conversation because the division right now is a 5-game lead for the Phillies. I still do not believe it's over. Okay? I want to make that very clear.
But do you think the Phillies are going to win the division?
I think the Phillies are in position to win the division.
Stop it. It's a yes or no question.
At this point, yes.
Okay, good. Because I was on with one Andrew Salciunas, and he was like, no, the Mets are winning. I was like, I don't think so.
I don't think necessarily it's over, though. Like, I think people that believe that we should just turn our focus to the bye is a little much. I think the Mets, I've seen them win. They have to now, what? If the Phillies went 500 the rest of the way, they'd have to go 28-15.
Well, we saw that, last year. Yeah, they really were.
And early this season, they started out 28-15. So they've done it before.
Yep.
And we've seen the Phillies go cold at times. It's not that they have
Especially
a bulletproof schedule here. There's 7 games left between these two teams. I reserve my right to change my mind in 2 weeks when they play up in New York. 2 weeks from now, when I come on the air following my trip up to New York, that some people think is cursed, we can have that conversation.
When you thought you were going to see Zach Wheeler?
Yeah, it's fine. Brewers, though, right now, 75-44. They are 31 games over 500. They are in the driver's seat for that top seed. And when you look at just the entire league conversation for the bye, the Phillies right now would have the 2, which leaves them in the position to play. It would be the Dodgers and Cubs 3 and 4. Or the Dodgers, excuse me, would be 3.
And then
they would get the Mets as the 6. And the Cubs and Padres would be 4 and 5.
Yes, okay.
So the Dodgers Mets versus the Padres Cubs scenario. It doesn't, like, as much as you say, well, the division's not over, the Phillies being 6 back of the Brewers for that top seed, almost right now, fading for the Brewers would have to be an incredible stretch for the Phillies down the stretch to get that number 1.
Right. Yeah, I don't see that happening, but I also don't know how much I buy the Brewers as a legit one.
I was there last week, and as they continue to win, the old timers, they play the baseball the right way. They get guys on the whole thing.
Yes, exactly.
I do think you can bash past them. Like, I think there is a world where if you get hot, you can bash their way past them, and your starting pitching can silence their bats, and you could be in a good spot. They have good starting, they don't have named starting pitching. They have good starting pitching.
They do have good starting pitching.
And it's not really named because they're in Milwaukee. They've got a couple guys. I mean,
they're in the Midwest.
Yeah, it's
small market.
They would be names if they played somewhere else. I am kind of starting to buy them as a contender.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they get on, they get them over, they get them in, which I like. The small ball is fine. It'll be interesting if they go up against a team like the Dodgers, who could mash them to death.
Right.
Or the
Phillies.
Exactly.
And
you said it. But that was.
So you're not wouldn't see them unless you really fall here and
NLCS.
Take a tumble. You probably wouldn't see them until NLCS. The question is, are we rooting for the Padres or the Dodgers to win that division?
That's a good question. Padres.
Probably is, as much as the Padres bullpen concerns me, like what they could do to you if they get ahead early.
Padres.
We're probably big Padres fans the rest of the year.
Their starting pitching isn't as strong. Their bullpen, obviously, they've got some really, and they made some really good deadline acquisitions. The Padres did.
Yeah,
I mean, they're like, listen, we're going all in.
AJ Preller is a madman.
Right. Mason Miller, like, what is it going to take? Right. Here's everything, whatever it is you want. So they definitely made some good pickups. But then, when we saw them offensively, they can really struggle, and I know the Phillies can too. So it's not like I'm saying anything that's out of the realm of possibility. But if I had to choose between those two, I'm going to choose it with a team that, one, is not going to enjoy coming back here to play. Mm-hmm. I don't think at all. And 2, that I think that you could take advantage of more.
Okay, so we're Padres fans, and after this series ends, I think we're all Reds fans for the fun of just seeing the Mets miss the postseason.
100%.
Even though I feel like that's maybe
you know what they should do? They should have Kyle Schwarber come out and get another ceremonial pitch.
Might be bad juju. That's actually a really good point. I'm not a Reds fan at all. Who's behind the Reds? I hate the Cardinals too. All right. Whoever's the 6, just lose. That's kind of my take on the matter. Coming up, want to catch up on some of the engagement we're getting on our Phillies conversation. See people want to chime in. Schwarber and the Nola versus Ranger conversation we got into earlier, which will probably be a conversation in the postseason, but we'll save that for a little later on in the show. And I gave you time. Joel Embiid's starting 5 of teammates. Amy Fadool, I'm Ray Dunn. Coming up next right here on Middays 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now, a Birds Insider update on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I'm Austin Jones with your Birds Insider update. The Eagles are hosting the Cleveland Browns as the teams will face off against each other in 2 joint practices this week. The practices will take place today and Thursday. Eagles offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo spoke to the media earlier today about the joint practices and said they do help with preparing for the regular season.
But a lot of it's just about execution. Like, you want the guys to problem solve. We don't know what Jim's going to do. Him and I have talked just briefly about just the practice, the structure of it, but it's a good test for our guys to kind of say, okay, we got to go against something new. We've worked this play against Vic at length. Now let's see if we can problem solve it and execute it against a different defense.
On the injury report, A.J. Brown, Elijah Cooks, Landon Dickerson, and Kenyon Green did not participate. Meanwhile, on the limited front, Zach Ball, Gabe Hall, Miles Hinton, Montrell Johnson, and Byron Young were all limited today. The Eagles will return to the practice field tomorrow. Nick Sirianni will speak to the media. The Eagles play the Cleveland Browns 1 p.m. this Saturday. Tune into the pregame show with Brendan Gunn and Kevin Cooney at 11 a.m. I'm Austin Jones, your home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The summer's here, and you know what that means. Engagement season. But remember, don't force it.
Don't tell your significant. TheFanatic.com.
Alongside Amy Fadool, I'm Ray Dunn here on the Midday Show 97.5 The Fanatic. Going to get into a little fun, fun basketball conversation. I think we can have it, right? It counts.
Why can't we have it?
I don't know. It's just a tough time for the team.
It's always tough. It's not always, but it's been tough times. But you can still find joy in it.
I'm trying. That's why we're going to have this conversation.
Iris Maxey, joy.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Another 2000s, baby. The kinship between the two of us. He doesn't know it, but we're like tight.
Love that guy.
Yeah, big fan. All right. real quick, let's get back to the text line here. A couple of people chiming in on a number of the Phillies topics we got going on. What we got, Austin?
Yeah, so this is Kevin from Idaho. See, I look at the Kyle Schwarber Reds thing differently. They know he's never going to be able to do this in a Reds uniform, so now is their best choice while he's still in the middle of his career to honor a local guy.
Kevin, you look at this in a very kind-hearted way.
A Midwestern way, if you will.
A very, very kind, measured way of looking at this. And I appreciate that about you. As for me, I think the person that's responsible for this deserves to be suspended from whatever for a while. I think at least a 4th-round pick. Gone.
Really?
No. But, like, it's just
like
weird.
it,
It's illegal. It shouldn't be allowed. Like, we should not, like, let's grow up on this whole thing.
Yeah. It's just a very weird thing. Honoring him, even if you look at the brightest side, honoring him.
Yeah, listen, Kevin looks at this in a very kind,
Honoring
like,
him.
this is a good thing to do. Like, Jay, I forget who it was on the YouTube chat. I apologize. Someone
never
commented
played
earlier,
there.
like, Ray, like, I didn't make anything of this. And that's good for you. I just think it's wrong. It's weird.
It would have been, you would honor him. I don't know. I mean, I guess he's local, but like, say, like Ken Griffey, when he was playing for the Reds, went back to the Mariners, and then he threw out or caught the first pitch from his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that would make more sense because he used to be a Mariner, and you are honoring him in his time spent in the Mariners uniform. He grew up 45 minutes away from Cincinnati, which obviously, is close enough. But what?
Yeah. Listen, again, Kevin, you probably look at this the right way. It just bothered the absolute.
I guess we need to start honoring Mike Trout.
Nah, it's too late. I'm not trying to recruit him anymore.
Oh, that's the thing. It's true. So this is like while he's in the prime of his career, we're going to honor him.
Yeah, no. I'm
AKA
trying to think.
recruit him.
Yeah. Any Philadelphia-based people I want to recruit, I'll try and come up with in the 1 o'clock hour. Also, what else we got on Nola versus Ranger?
All right, so we take Ranger over Nola because of his ERA in the playoffs and his history in the playoffs overall. Nola's pitches is good, but then he's horrible in the playoffs.
Nola's the reason why you beat the Braves twice. You had a third starter in that series. The Braves did not. I mean, that's like, I understand people get upset with Game 6. I think he allowed 4 earned in 2023 against the Diamondbacks. People get upset with, I believe, Game 1 of the World Series. Like, there are justifiable games in which, yes, he has not performed.
I think
he's part of what's put you past teams. And, like, Ranger in that coming out to close out the pennant, I knew the game was over when I heard Mr. Ranger come over to speak. I get it.
Yeah.
I love Ranger Suarez. I just think it's interesting that so much the fan base is against Nola. And so much against the fan base was against bringing Nola back. And yet we see legitimate health durability concerns with the Ranger. And people are like, yeah, whatever. Go grab. All right. Amy, I gave you time for this.
You did.
So let's take a listen. James Harden was on with a streamer? Question mark? I forget the name of the streamer. I apologize.
Hold on, we can find it out. Go ahead.
We credit your content. This is James Harden giving his all-time starting 5 of teammates.
Question they wanted to know, out of every teammate you've ever played with, if you could give your best starting 5 that you would want.
Whoa, like primes?
Yeah, with you in it.
That's a good question. All right, let me think. Center, Joel Embiid. I thought about Dwight.
I love Dwight. He's a good dude.
Like in his prime. Whoa, let me start over. That point guard position is crazy. You got CP, you got Russ, and you got Kyrie.
Damn, that is hard.
Let me just go. Kyrie, Russ, me, KD, and Joel. I like that team.
I like the
small team that
run the floor.
Got handles, can shoot.
You're gonna finish James Harden since this? That's great.
Yeah, Embiid's running the floor with them for sure. Yeah. I like that Embiid's the first name that comes to mind. That he's like
for center. I got to go
center
with
Embiid. All right, now I'll figure out the 25. Yeah. So I've gone through this exercise, and it depresses you, the power forward, because I'm trying to really think of who would be the 4, and like Paul George had played 41 games with the Sixers last year.
I got one.
Okay, so point guard. Let's start point guard, work our way down. Point guard, there's 2 ways you can go with this. There's one that makes everyone upset, and there's one that makes everyone a little less upset.
This is who you think Joel Embiid would choose?
No, this is our of his all-time.
We all know the best, speaking of pick and roll, the best point guard to play with him when he was playing basketball and interested in it was Ben Simmons. James Harden obviously is another.
James Harden's the one I got on my team. I'm sorry, I put James Harden on the team.
I would never pick. I didn't write down.
Embiid wouldn't pick Simmons.
No, I would never write. I didn't write down. I wrote down Harden.
So for your 5, you have Harden.
I wrote down Harden.
Because there is a legitimate argument to be made.
There is, because literally when the offseason, last offseason and the offseason before and the offseason before that, when you're trying to if you had to construct a perfect player to play with Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons is the perfect player. He's a rangy guard that's pass first and is not interested in doing anything else. That's all he wants to do. He's a perfect complement to Joel Embiid's game.
Amy Fadool says Ben Simmons should come back to the Sixers. 610.
When he played basketball, is a very important caveat.
Number
Let's
2,
not do that anymore.
your 2 guard.
I got Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, I feel like Maxey has to be in his list.
Yes.
I feel like, if we want to go small forward, wing here, we'll go with, I feel like this is also obvious.
It's Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler. So those 3, Harden, Maxey, Butler. Who do you got as the 4?
I'm going to go with one of his off-the-board Olympic teammates, and I'm going with LeBron James.
Oh,
that's right.
You can't do that.
Yes, I can. You said teammates. How much fun did LeBron enjoy when France was booing him? So I'm going to go. I wrote it down.
Ray's leaving.
He's left. Ray's left.
What a cop-out.
It was. There isn't a forest.
I'll say the controversial thing, it's Tobias. It has to be. That's the world we live in.
Even in the prime, though, like you still wouldn't put the Paul George prime over a
He didn't play with him in his prime.
As his teammate.
Yeah, but in this situation, Harden said in their prime, and he was the guy who was
playing with him in his prime. He was an MVP. Joel Embiid in his prime. He played with Kevin Durant when he was in his. You know what I mean? Like no one on his list. I think that's how I interpret it.
Gotcha.
Austin, that's what I took.
Also, side note, no love for JJ Redick. I know you're not going to love Duke, but I gotta ask though.
Well, is it going to be Maxey and Redick in the backcourt?
I had Harden and Redick. I'm thinking of the spot-up shooting. No Maxey.
Ooh.
I think Joel would not choose.
I think JJ Redick could be the coach.
Who was the best?
All 5 starters will play all 48 minutes. All right, anyways, let's move on. I want to get back to...
So obviously LBJ is the correct answer.
Yeah. I want to get back to the Phillies conversation coming up here with Ranger Suarez. And I talked about something earlier with Rob Thompson that we didn't quite get the engagement, I thought. I thought we'd get Thompson haters to crawl out today. They did not. So maybe Thompson's won over some people. I want to go back to the one thing that's bothering me with Rob Thompson right now as it relates to how Ranger Suarez pitched last night. Also, if you have a different starting 5 for Joel Embiid's career teammates on the Sixers, you can chime in at 610-632-0975.
You didn't say that. You said teammates.
She's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn. Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies dropped their second game of the series against the Reds last night. Ranger Suarez did not have his best stuff as he allowed 6 earned runs on 92 pitches in 5 1/3 innings. In Rangers' last 6 starts, he's given up a total of 24 runs. The Phillies will go for the series win with Christopher Sanchez on the mound. First pitch is set for 5:10. And with the struggles of Ranger Suarez, it means that the return of Aaron Nola could be much needed for the Phillies. Last night, Nola went 5 2/3 innings, allowing 2 earned runs and struck out 11 batters. Eagles guard Landon Dickerson suffered a knee injury over this past weekend, so that puts backup guard Brett Toth up for the next position at the guards position. Kevin Patullo spoke to the media earlier today and had to say this about Toth.
He's a really smart individual, really good with the detail of the game. He understands a lot of positions, which is great to have a guy like that that can line up in multiple spots and be able to step in if something happens. So I think that's the biggest thing he brings. And he's been in the system for a while. He understands what we want to do and the way Stout teaches it.
The Eagles return to the practice field tomorrow. Nick Sirianni will speak to the media. This update is also brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with national-wide LTE coverage for a limited time. Get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for an extra 5% off. I'm Austin Jones on the home of the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
ESP.
Good evening, Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn. Take you into the 1 o'clock hour. You are tuned in to WPEN and WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. And we started the show today talking about Ranger Suarez. And obviously the second half has not gone his way. Much like the second half before that. It's a trend with the guy. He kind of runs out of gas, to steal a phrase from a guy who usually is in the 2 o'clock slot today. I believe today, since his game is at 5:10. I don't know if you have Ricky this afternoon. I believe Connor's coming in to do Unfiltered with one Bill Calderulo. But to steal a phrase from one Ricky Bo, running out of gas at this point. And you have to be concerned about where Ranger Suarez is. We've asked you what you would do with the rotation. Nola's return is looming. Nola could take Suarez's turn in the rotation coming up next if they wanted to, or they could go to the six-man. Later on in this hour, we'll play the audio from Jason Stark talking about the fact that he thinks they're going to a six-man and that Thompson has suggested as much on Wednesday or Monday night. Today is Wednesday.
You'll figure it out. You'll get there.
They were right. You can't do 4 hours. 3, I might be able to.
Three and change.
But with Ranger Suarez, as much as I'm concerned about him, there was a piece of me last night upset with Rob Thompson. Because you saw Ranger Suarez in the 5th inning load up the bases.
And get out of it.
But
he did load him up.
You saw him load him up. You've seen him, and you've mentioned that he doesn't seem quite right. You've mentioned trying to watch the workload of these pitchers. And yet, you throw him back out there for the 6th. And he didn't just load him up in the 5th. He hit a batter and walked the guy on 5 pitches.
Yeah. Command was completely off.
So, with that, you're like, go ahead, go back out there.
Good luck.
Yeah, pitch the 6th inning. And Ranger's like, I'm just throwing the ball, at this point.
Yeah, literally, Ranger said afterwards, there was like one strike that he thought was a strike. It wasn't called. And he's like, so I wasn't finding my command. And then I just kind of checked it. Not, he didn't say check out, but he basically just kind of blanked out and was just like, I stopped trying to do that. And I just threw the ball. And you're topping out at 90.
The two sides got to have some conversation here.
And then they asked Rob Thompson about that. He can't do that. Like, yeah, I know.
You can't survive like that. Yeah. So the two sides have to have communication there. And Rob Thompson also has to be better in that situation, not to throw him out there in the 6th inning. He's thrown Wheeler out there for extra innings where you've been like, is he still maybe shouldn't? Ranger, I've seen him do it before too. And he does this all while saying he wants to watch his pitcher's workload. Well, here's a way to watch your pitcher's workload. Right there.
You literally watch them struggle and think.
For another inning. And I have a culprit, I believe, for why today I'm annoyed with Rob Thompson. I blame one of the people coming up at 2 o'clock. And I also want to just give a precursor here, because as much as I today am annoyed with Rob Thompson and I found something tweaking me with him, I want you to know that at some point in the 2 o'clock hour today, you are going to hear, well, if we're being objective, as much as I've said good things about the guy this week, you have to wonder what Rob Thompson was thinking. Just being objective here. You have to wonder. You're going to hear that in the 2 o'clock hour. And I want to remind people what Bill Calderulo said about Rob Thompson earlier this week.
Is it time that we start to acknowledge that not only is this a good baseball team, but dare I say, a really good manager? When you really look at the job this guy's done with everything that the Phillies have battled this season, from injuries to slumps to start the season with a lot of guys, to guys just underperforming, to free agent signings being disasters with Jordan Romano and Max Kepler, who have both kind of turned it around recently, which is great. But you look at all of these factors, to be sitting here 20 games over 500, first place in the NL East, second best odds to win the damn World Series, it's really hard not to give the guy his props. And I think if you are still one of the Rob Thompson haters, then you're simply that. I think you're just hating and not looking at it objectively. He's done a really nice job.
I just want that to be remembered, okay? I just want that to be remembered, because I can assure you today that it won't be what leads the show.
No.
He won't lead the show with it, but somewhere in like the second or third segment today, Bill's going to jump into the, and if we're really being objective about last night, Rob Thompson, I'm telling you it's going to happen. And I'm just getting already ahead of this one to remind you what he said about him yesterday. Okay? I also blame Bill Calderulo. I'll say it. I blame him for Thompson setting him out there in the 6th.
You blame Bill.
It's Bill's fault.
because Bill believed in Topper and Topper believes in Ranger.
Correct.
Okay, I get it.
That's the way I want it very clear.
That's only 2 degrees. So I
Bill
think
coming to the side of Rob
that's a legit
Thompson.
argument.
Bill being on the side of Rob Thompson, thus has created this problem that I now have with Rob Thompson. I just don't like the fact that he says he's watching their workload and then
he's not
immediately throws them out there for another inning. And like I said, Amy Fadool in the 5-star restaurant she was sitting in last night having dinner. Austin Jones at the casino, high rolling, making his money. Both of them were sitting there watching on TV. Me, I was sitting on the floor, still waiting for furniture, waiting for Wi-Fi, just watching it on a phone. Just like, what are we doing here? We knew,
saw it.
all three of us,
saw it.
no matter where we were sitting, knew that Ranger didn't have it. To throw him out there for the 6th is malpractice. It's not the reason you lost the game, but it's one of those things that as we talk about the journey of this season and we talk about where this pitching staff is at right now, he talks about managing these workloads and then acts in the entire different way. That bothers me.
Yeah.
That is part of what bothers me right now with Rob Thompson. You get your chance to respond at 2, Calabrullo, all right? Listen, I got every segment I hear it's coming up at 2. I know you're coming up at 2. We're going to get your workflow on it. You can talk all about it coming up then. You already said you're done with me. Go back to your prep area. All right? Sorry, he's lurking over there.
I saw him.
But it leads to a couple of different questions here. And Rob, for me, it just bothers me, that part of what he's doing right now. And I'm curious if other people are annoyed at the way he has managed some of these pitchers going an extra inning. I know Brendan Gunn wants every pitcher to throw 9 innings. He just wants complete games because it's good memories. And I'll see him tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I'm also curious for you how you manage this rotation the rest of the way.
You mean having the 6th or resting one
Right.
of your guys?
Because, again, you could kind of save yourself some roster troubles of making a move, sending a guy here, doing whatever, if someone hits the injured list.
Right.
And 2 of these guys, you could argue, are in a world where they could be reset, where it's like, hey, the shoulder is really bothering Wheeler. I think the back would be what they would say for Suarez, even though he just seems fatigued. And there is precedent for those 2 guys going to the injured list in August.
Right.
Wheeler did it late in August in 2022. You've seen it with Ranger Suarez just as recently as a year ago. I know they're going with the 6-man idea, but is that the best idea for them going forward? That is really where I want to get to the crux of this conversation. Do you think the 6-man rotation is the way they should go with this going forward? Or is it better to give one of those guys a reset right now while you have time to do it? You've got a 5-game lead. You have the wealth of starting pitching. You have Aaron Nola coming back.
I think those 2 are the things right there. I think one, Aaron Nola coming back, get him on a regular rotation. And there is probably some idea that if you when you're bringing Aaron Nola back, who has missed the most time he's ever missed in his professional career, or probably ever. I can't imagine he missed any kind of time like this when he was pitching in college. But so he's missed the most he's ever missed. Maybe you ease him back in with a 6-man rotation. But I feel like if he's ready, and it seems like he's going to be ready soon, because he looked great, 84 pitches last night, struck out 11, reworked to either side at least 3 times. Get him back into his regular rhythm. Get him back, because he's now going to be your number 3 guy. It's going to be Wheeler, Sanchez, Nola.
And that leads us perfectly in the next question. What does the postseason rotation look like?
I mean,
now?
Yeah, depends on what Nola looks like when he gets back, obviously.
Well,
I want to see him after a
coming
couple
up,
starts.
we are going to try and look into the future here of where this goes.
We also have to talk more about the Kyle Schwarber courting from the Reds.
So is this
a
true?
real thing? So I've got Bob. Yeah, well, I'm not going to give it away.
Yeah. All right, coming up.
Because I've got the insider intel from our man on the scene.
Yes, our old pal
really happening.
who now is covering the Phillies for NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Exactly.
Bob Cooney's on the scene.
Yeah. I texted him because I was like, I have to know who got the tickets. So
this is disgraceful. It's despicable. It's disgusting. It's immoral. It's
reprehensible.
Reprehensible. It's disgusting. I hate every second of it. I can't even speak. I'm so disgusted by it. More happening out there in Cincinnati to try and lure Kyle Schwarber. It's tampering. At this point, I think a draft pick's on the line. She's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn. This is the Midday Show, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Do you feel unfulfilled? Do your afternoons feel like Groundhog Day?
It's war between Philadelphia and Cincinnati.
A seemingly innocuous city in the Midwest, but now they've decided they chose violence.
Trust me, I will actually. I could be there in a few weeks, and I will be very loud about my displeasure for that place. I now hate Cincinnati. Cincinnati and I are at odds, and you should be too. Honestly, if you're gonna just let this happen and just sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, it's fine, it's normal," you are part of the problem. You are part of the problem. If you don't understand what we're talking about, by the way, she's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn. You're tuning in the Midday Show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Yesterday, they had Kyle Schwarber catch the first pitch from his father and youth baseball coach.
Yes.
Weird. Clearly weird. He's been going to Cincinnati for years because he's been in Major League Baseball. Now he's in a contract year, and all of a sudden the Reds are putting on the full court press to impress him. Like, oh, yeah, even while you're Philly, we'll let you catch the first pitch. Now today, Amy, what are the Reds doing today for Kyle Schwarber?
They are giving him the key to the city. The key to the city. Let's go with the mayor. So I texted Bob Cooney is writing for NBC Sports Philadelphia, and I texted him. I was like, I got to know, like, who supplied the tickets? Because Kyle Schwarber obviously gets his own tickets, but it's away, so I'm not sure how that works. And he's like, this is obviously all the Reds. And he said they're giving him this key to the city today. And I was like, that's not real. Like, that's not a real thing, right? And he goes, oh, no, it's happening. I'm writing. Bob will be posting the story shortly about the full court press that the Cincinnati area is putting on. So now the team is involved, and now the city is involved.
We are at war with Cincinnati. It's not something I wanted to declare. It's not something I wanted or expected to do this week. Okay? Honestly, I wanted to root for the Reds the rest of the way so the Mets didn't make the postseason. I now have a considerable problem with this city. It's a city that is built on Skyline Chili, which itself is a bad thing. And now they're doing the immoral thing of trying to lure a player who, mind you, under contract for a team that currently is the second best in the National League, trying to lure him before his free agency. It's gross. It's disgusting. And quite frankly, I think as punishment,
you should get it.
The Reds' payroll should be cut down by at least $50 million for next season. They should be fined $50 million.
What's their payroll now?
Does Cincinnati, now that they're getting involved, do they deserve some discipline too?
Cincinnati, the city.
The city of Cincinnati, I can assure you of this. I will never vacation there now.
I mean.
Okay, Joakim Noah.
I will never. I can assure you, any trip I take to Cincinnati will not be for vacation. I can't promise anything work-related. But that is what they will end up doing. I advise you do the same.
It's not particularly great.
Don't vacation in Cincinnati.
And the thing is, when you fly into the Cincinnati airport, you're not even in Cincinnati.
It's a good point.
You're in northern
What type
Kentucky.
of city has their airport in a different state, other than like New York? But
they still have ones.
They got
in
like
New York.
3 of them.
Yeah.
So,
but no, the Covington, Kentucky. That's where.
Yeah.
Yep. CBG.
I've been there. I've been there. I've been to Cincinnati once.
Fun fact.
Not a fan. Certainly not a fan now. I don't understand why more people aren't upset about this.
The
spits
key
in
to
the face of the
city
Phillies.
is just really like, this is crazy. If I'm the Phillies, at what point am I like, yo, dude, like, we have him right now.
Do they not have history in Cincinnati? Like, with all due respect to Kyle Schwarber.
Remember the Cincinnati Reds, the only thing that that's remarkable, well, obviously they have several remarkable, the Big Red Machine run with that. Remember they used to be like they were always the first game opening day. Mm-hmm. They would used to they would start like hours before everybody else. So that's gone out the wayside. Or they would be only ones on Sunday Night Baseball and everybody else would start on Monday. But that's gone by the wayside.
I just mean like legitimately. Like the key to the city is a big thing.
Marquise Morris got it here.
Yeah.
He was playing for the Sixers.
Right.
They didn't give Morris the
He's
key
from
to the
here.
city. His brother
He's done
didn't
work
get it,
in
right?
Yeah, that was...
Which was funny, but weird. So his brother didn't get it because the brother wasn't playing for the Sixers. So your twins, only one got the key to the city, and you don't split it. But
do they not have anyone else to honor? Is there no one else that could be given the key to the city here?
There's no one else that they want to have the key to the city because there's no one else that they're going to want to pay to hit home runs in their cavernous ballpark.
I hate this. I hate this with a burning.
This
almost is parody. Like, this is almost parody level. Why? This legitimately can't be allowed, right? I mean, it is allowed, but it shouldn't be.
Oh, it's allowed. I would love to know what do you call up John Middleton and be like, yo, this is weird, right?
John, what is he supposed to say, too, when you're like, yeah, we should do this? Like, no?
Yeah, I think that someone asked, like, what would Kyle Schwarber, okay. You want to give me the key to the city that I grew up in? Okay. You want me to throw out the pitch, catch the pitch from my dad? You want me to say no to my dad?
Yeah, I don't want to have a catch with my dad.
My dad would love to. I found out that his dad, Tom McCarthy said it on the broadcast, his dad is a president of the Little League, the area Little League that's in there. Not in Cincinnati, but in where they grew up. Probably would love to throw out the first pitch at Great American Ballpark. You got to deny your dad.
Yeah, you're not going to tell your dad no. This is a problem. It's very weird. I despise this entirely. Everyone's sitting here like, oh yeah, whatever. It has to. I can't be the only one that's this bothered. Like, at this point, are they just gonna? Is today gonna be Kyle Schwarber Day? Is the city gonna rename?
We got one more game there, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So obviously, this is it's progression. It's ceremonial first pitch. It's key to the city, and then obviously he becomes mayor for a day tomorrow.
Well, they'll be in D.C. tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
So they got to do it today.
Yeah.
I mean, they could just rename the entire sports complex down there the Kyle Schwarber Special District.
It's Pete Rose Way, but maybe they can give him like a sidewalk right now.
The bridge, they got to just rename it Kyle Schwarber Bridge.
Don't hate it.
Do they go the way of the Miami Heat and just retire his number, even though he has yet to even play for the Reds, like what they did with Michael Jordan?
Yeah,
they could do that.
That's a good point.
What if they play? What if the Phillies? Like, it's not out of the possibility the Phillies and Reds play in the postseason. Like, if the Reds were to get by, like the Reds are the 6th seed, and they somehow get by whoever wins the West, and they come into Philadelphia, they play 2 games to go out to Cincinnati. Game 3, is it going to be unveiling out front the Kyle Schwarber statue?
Yeah. If that happened, if there is any way that the Reds come here to Citizens Bank Park, everyone, and I mean everyone, would need to wear a Kyle Schwarber jersey or jersey. That would be the only acceptable thing, just to show in Phillies gear that no Reds fans would be allowed.
You know what I'm going to do today?
You're going to buy a Kyle Schwarber jersey?
No. I'm going to go to Yards Brewing Company, and I'm going to, whatever Kyle Schwarber gear they have.
You're going to get it.
I'm going to get it.
That's what we need.
And whatever beer he drinks and he supports, I'm also going to do that for him. That's for all of you.
That's what you need to do.
I'm doing service for Philadelphia.
You're welcome.
Yes. Maybe I'll go see my old buddy Tom, too, while I'm at it. All right, coming up next. I have never needed Andrew DeCecco to be right about anything more than one thing with the Eagles. He's been right about a lot. The Chekadamas, I believe, is what we're calling him.
Chekadamas.
I've never need him to be more right about someone than this one player that he is very high on, and he's been very high on for pretty much the second they drafted this guy. I need it so incredibly badly for this Eagles team this season. We'll get to that. She's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn. We're here on the Midday Show, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies dropped the second game of the series last night against the Reds. Ranger Suarez did not have his best stuff as he allowed 6 earned runs on 92 pitches and 5 1/3 innings pitched. In Rangers' last 6 starts, he's given up a total of 24 runs. The Phillies go for the series win with Christopher Sanchez on the mound. First pitch is set for 5:10. Eagles guard Landon Dickerson suffered a knee injury over the weekend at the Eagles open practice that will put him on the shelf for a little while, which means backup Brett Toth would be the next man in line for the guard position. This is what Kevin Patullo had to say about the backup guard.
He's a really smart individual, really good with the detail of the game. He understands a lot of positions, which is great to have a guy like that can line up in multiple spots and be able to step in if something happens. So I think that's the biggest thing he brings. And he's been in the system for a while. He understands what we want to do and the way Stout teaches it.
The Eagles will return to the practice field tomorrow. Nick Sirianni will speak to the media. This update is also brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with national LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping. RapidRadios.com. Use code RADIO for an extra 5% off. I'm Austin Jones on the home of the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni.
You already said you're going to yards.
Well, that's a good point. Maybe I'll do it there. I don't know if.
Same vibe.
No, I mean it'd be the same. But I don't know how late they're open. I don't know if they got the Wi-Fi set up. They usually have a packed bar.
Well, you also might have a turnover menu.
Yeah. Well, maybe I should do it earlier. You can't do the show sheet too early in the day. Then so much you miss the news cycle. I'm doing today's
It's
show.
more like a last call situation.
Yeah, but Amy Fadool, alongside myself, Ray Dunn, and it's just no Wi-Fi still. Someone tweeted at me the other day, like, "Yo, I can help you out. Like, I just want the company to do its job. I just want to get the
You just
Wi-Fi.
wanted to show up
Yeah.
and make the Wi-Fi happen.
Right. I already did the whole contract thing with you, so you might as well give me my Wi-Fi.
I held up my end of the bargain.
Right. I said I want Wi-Fi. You said okay.
And they said...
And now we're putting this together. This has become a little difficult.
It's great. Look, there's multiple sheets.
Yeah.
With
good.
like links and time frames. And here's my notes about who should play the 4 with Joel Embiid and teammates.
Break. Speaking of which,
Sorry.
Before we get to the one thing I need to check Adamas to be the most correct about ever, just one thing I need Andrew to check on to be absolutely correct. Our Eagles insider here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Before we get to that, we did have someone that want to chime in on that Embiid conversation, as well as Aaron Nolan. It's our guy, Tasty Cake Dom. Dommy, how are you?
Hey, Ray, how are you? Hi, Amy.
Hi, Tom.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. Great. Good show today.
Thanks.
I definitely wanted to. So I would go Maxey and Harden at the guards, Jimmy Butler at small forward, and I watched Christmas Day about 5 years ago. I watched Ben smother. Yeah, remember that Christmas Day game when the Sixers blew the Bucks out?
Yep.
And that they hit like 75 threes. What also happened is Giannis scored 16 in that game, and that's because Ben smothered him. He also used to smother Jason Tatum. So I'm having Ben Simmons at the 4.
I mean, given
I don't hate it. I just in his prime. So yes, Dom, you're right. In his prime, Ben Simmons is an answer that you should be able to use.
And the 4 kind of gets offensively overlooked with Embiid on the floor. I think at this point we can kind of say, like, as much as Tobias is like the Tobias story is the Tobias story, and like his level versus what they paid him to be was that. I do think you could kind of argue that's not the worst case.
I don't hate it.
So the Embiid starting 5 for you, obviously Embiid at the 5, and then it would be Harden, Maxey, Butler, and Simmons.
I would think that's.
I mean, that would also because you need, if you're going to go Harden, Maxey, Jimmy, a lot of passing. You need someone else to grab some rebounds.
There you go.
That's right. And Dom, what do you got for us on Ola?
Well, Ray, you know I've always been a Nola guy.
I know you have.
I think he's historically been underappreciated. To me, this year he was hurt. That's why he wasn't effective. And if he heals up, I think he'll go back and be into. Ranger has never given us a full year yet. I mean, Ranger can be super effective for half the season.
Yeah, I mean, and even the numbers for the full season, and Dom, always great to hear from you. I appreciate you checking in with us. Even when you go through the numbers for a full season with him, I mean, 150 innings, 155 is what you get 2022, and the mid-threes ERA is there, but the stark difference of what it is from the first half to the second half really crushes you because you're in the 2s and then you're in the 5s.
Yeah, exactly. It's the variation and the argument for Aaron Nola and why he, should be maybe number 3 is the consistency with which he has pitched. He hasn't shown the flash, and I think we had someone that weighed in on on text line about the postseason. But you pointed out he's a solid third starter right now, and he was a solid third starter against the Braves, and the Braves did not have a third starter.
Yeah, and that leads me to think
the series because of that.
If I mentioned earlier, putting on just the idea of looking at the crystal ball where this could go. With the way Suarez is pitching right now, does Nola come back with the inside track to be the 3 starter in a postseason series? Because I still think you need to see a few starts out of Nola before I guarantee that he's going to be the 3rd starter. I think 3 weeks ago, Suarez had the inside track. I think right now they're at an even plate of pretty much show me in September.
Yeah, we're going to need to see. I think that you would need to see the next at least 2 starts go differently than the last 4.
and follow me a little bit more on this one. Is there a world in which, if they played a wild card series, Suarez ended up entirely off the roster?
A wild card series because
it's only
just,
3 games.
Yeah. And why would you need that?
Just you're going with the guy out of the bullpen instead. I mean, he's been out of the bullpen before, but given his velocity right now, would they have someone else? I mean, listen, if your option is Suarez or Max Lazar, you're probably still going with Suarez.
Or David Robertson.
Well, of course. Robertson's on that roster.
Of course he is.
Yeah, of course he is.
Why wouldn't he? That's why we signed him.
Yeah. Hey, he got out of that inning the other night. I know a lot of people were sweating.
Stop it.
I had that back and forth. Yeah. He got out of that inning. That's what's important. So from looking at what could happen down the line for this Phillies team, and if you want to jump in, who you think the third starter is going to be for that postseason series, I would say right now, starting at the even plate and given it's even, I think that Rob Thompson's club tends to go veteran. So it would be Nola. Right now, if I had to guess who the third starter would be, it's Nola, even though you haven't seen Nola, and I don't know how he's going to pitch. I think Suarez is giving you that much range for concern.
Yeah, I think
it would be Nola in the third game.
I think it's Nola until he tells you it's not. Until he shows you it's not, I should say. Right? He comes back probably in the next couple of days. Mm-hmm. He's going to get a couple of starts in there until he shows that he's not going to be. But it would go Wheeler, Sanchez, Nola for me.
Third is right now the question mark for this team. You know who 1 and 2 are.
It's obviously Taijuan Walker.
We could get a text on that. We could get someone to chime in. I wouldn't be surprised if someone thinks that he should be the third starter. I'm not going to do it, but I think there would be a fan out there. But I'm curious who you think your third starter would be, and you can jump in on that 610-632-0975. But speaking of looking ahead, Andrew DeCecco, since the moment Drew Makuba has been drafted, has been singing the man's praises. That Makuba is the ideal Fangio safety, has all the traits that you're looking for, obviously had the career that he did in college. And there's a story in the Inquirer, because Makuba spoke at practice, and he's been out of action for the last 2 weeks, but slowly working his way into some first-team reps. And Sidney Brown still kind of looks to me to be the out-of-control, just kind of firing downhill. And I don't feel necessarily comfortable with him as the second safety. That's just kind of where I'm at, which is why I need, and I'm begging for Andrew DeCecco to be as correct as he's ever been with Drew Makuba, so that all I'm worried about in that secondary by the beginning of October
is the other corner.
Right. And I'm hoping this Makuba moment where he's been hurt and missing practice is kind of his DeJean moment from last season. Not that I need him to be as good as DeJean was last year, but I need it to be, the mental reps really were there for him. He really learned what he needed to learn about playing his position in this defense. And now that he's out there physically, maybe it'll take you 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
But for me, Makuba unlocks a certain level of comfort with this defense that I don't have right now, that I absolutely need, and I'm looking to our Birds Insider for a little bit of help.
And that's what,
calming.
I mean, everybody said it. They said it when they drafted him. They said it in the first couple of OTAs, which you really don't see much, but they liked the way he looked. Then you started to hear it, right when training camp started or right before trade. Like, this guy has been penciled in as the other safety. Like, this is happening. This is going to be the guy. And so I kind of correlated it to miss some time at camp, going to have a slow start. So did Cooper DeJean. That's fine.
Yeah, I think if you're going to miss time,
this is the time.
He missed the right time to do it. Like early on in camp, and especially given the fact that I don't think Sidney Brown, and we have not really seen heard from, or saw in that preseason game any indication that Sidney Brown has taken a stranglehold on this job. So to me, you're coming back at a perfect time.
Yep.
Like Jacorian Bennett in that preseason game saw his stock go up by not playing.
Just by not being out there to get burnt by,
Makuba also. Now Bennett, we have to mention today, apparently practiced, didn't have a great practice. And also, I can't say that whatever happens in the Browns game happens in a vacuum. The other 2 guys are out there to get burnt by the first team of the Bengals. Yeah. If Bennett shows up and has a good first game against the Browns, very different story. I don't know who's going to play quarterback for the Browns.
They don't know.
Kenny Pickett has been dealing with the hamstring.
Yes.
Gabriel, apparently practice day, has been dealing with the hamstring. Shedeur Sanders now has the oblique. Joe Flacco's 75 years old.
Exactly.
Like, I don't even know.
Tyler.
You're going to go from playing Joe Burrow to playing Joe Schmo. Like, that's what it's going to be this week. You're legitimately, like, Austin, I see, is answering the phone right now.
Yeah,
Austin might be
Tyler Huntley.
answering a call right now from the Browns to go play quarterback for them this Saturday.
I'm out there. Yes,
I
sir.
think
Let's
Tyler
go.
Huntley's your guy. Right?
The third and the fourth quarter. Yeah, Huntley. But legitimately,
The camp body.
that's where they're at. Cleveland had 75 quarterbacks and now has none, apparently.
Well, that isn't that.
Well, they had none.
Isn't that the?
They still have none.
That's been their problem for decades.
They're trying right
they had
now.
one once. They had Baker Mayfield, and that was it.
Which is crazy to say about Baker Mayfield.
Think about it.
We mentioned, I asked you earlier in our Rapid Fire with Fadool segment, which you could listen to 11:30 tomorrow and Friday.
And on Friday.
The one that concerned me most in the NFC, Baker Mayfield and the Bucks.
And Bucks.
Low key. Yeah. Probably in the top 3 or 4 for people. I would say most people.
The Eagles just always have a problem playing in Tampa Bay and with the Bucks.
Yeah.
They just have an issue with them. I don't know what it is.
End of September. All right, coming up, the cities that you would most like to visit instead of Cincinnati. Could we get a list of 50 American cities you would more prefer to go to than Cincinnati? Why are we doing this? I've declared war on Cincinnati. All right? They're trying to steal Kyle Schwarber from the Phillies, and they're doing it in a very disrespectful, distasteful way. And because of that, I'm going to do something in a disrespectful, distasteful way right back. She's Amy Fadool. I'm Ray Dunn. Hanging out with you middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid. So why should you have to hear out?
Ray Dunn alongside Amy Fadool. Austin Jones producing the show today. And Austin, I see we've got a text here. I did say going into the break that I would name 50 cities in America that I'd prefer to go to instead of Cincinnati. So I'm working on that list right now, but I do want to know what people are saying about Cincinnati on the text line.
Yeah, so this is Dave checking in. He said, yo, Ray, I'd rather visit Camden, Detroit, Bridgeton, and Chester before I go to Cincinnati.
All places I haven't been to Detroit, but yeah, I would go. I was in Chester last week. Camden, Camden River Sharks was a must go for me for a number of years there. So I've run over actually. Not recently. I'll be honest with you. I've been more of a gym guy, if you can't tell. But I haven't been doing a ton of running, but I do the run over the bridge in Camden. And you remember from some of our broadcasts over in Camden, I walked from Liberties to Camden.
The Sixers.
One time it got me in the rain, and I had to Uber. I was just getting to the bridge. I was like, just started to make my way over. It started to pour. And I had to hustle underground and cover myself up and get into an Uber.
You got drenched.
Yeah, it was my
pick me up on the side.
New sweatshirt, too. I was all mad. The most expensive sweatshirt I've ever bought. So I bought that sweatshirt, and it was already a decently priced sweatshirt. And then I got a parking ticket because I tried for 5 minutes to park in a spot you're not allowed to because I didn't feel like circling Center City anymore. And that's why I don't drive in the city anymore.
And then, so that was a very expensive sweatshirt.
So before I do the 50 cities here, there was something else I saw. Zach Bryan said he's not playing in Kansas City anymore because he hates the Chiefs. And
that's great.
It's a good bit by him. I appreciate him going after Kansas City fans. It's weird, kind of.
To like rule out an entire city when you're the size of, fan. It'd be like, I don't know.
A couple of reasons why it's weird. The Eagles won the game. So like you could just go there and troll them.
Right, just wear your Jalen Hurts jersey.
Right. I feel like, I don't know, for some reason, I feel like I'm giving off real Salciunas vibe right here. Talking about how weird it is and like trying to break down some guy's psyche.
Here's what's weird about it.
He's also not, I know Salciunas is not a big Zach Bryan guy. So that's also, that's why
I like Zach Bryan.
I'm a fan. I went to a concert. I like the music. The guy's driving me a little nuts right now. But he says he did not go to Kansas City. Weird for the reason the Eagles won. Weird because it does, like, Midwest and his kind of like his sound country, just kind of fits with the country vibe out there.
From
I don't
Oklahoma,
know.
So
right?
It's not like it's not far away.
Based upon sports fandom, is there a city that you despise?
Oh yeah.
I feel like I know exactly where you're going with this.
I mean, yeah, there is.
Can I guess?
You can.
Louisville.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Number one.
For you, Austin.
Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas feels like the obvious one in this city.
Can't stand them.
I hate St. Louis they ruined my childhood. That Cardinals team winning in 11.
To St. Louis?
No. Would I change my mind if I went?
I just don't know. You might.
Probably
It'd be
not.
one of those things that I
Have you
wouldn't
been
visit.
to Dallas, Austin?
I have not, no.
Yeah, it's actually not terrible.
It's not.
I'm sure the city is
but like
fine.
No, I won't even, like, I've flown into Louisville, and I immediately exited. Could
just
not
got
get
back
out.
on the
Just
plane?
I just get in the rental car and just go. Like, do not stop. Don't look around. You can't see anything. There's nothing to see. Just go. Get out of here.
That's real sport tape right there.
Just get
That's
out
real
of here.
sport.
Oh, you want to go look at Churchill? No. Eyes on the road. Let's go.
All right. So to be clear, Cincinnati right now, full court press trying to get Kyle Schwarber, the hometown kid, to sign there. Yesterday he catches the ceremonial first pitch, and from his dad and from his youth baseball coach. And then today, he's getting the key to the city.
Yes.
I want to walk through. We're going to go. So the city of Cincinnati is actually 66th in population in America. Let's go through and to Jay King on our YouTube chat. Why Louisville? Sorry, my northern pronunciation over here.
You can say Louisville. You can say whatever you want. Why Louisville?
Yeah.
Well, I went to University of Kentucky.
Yeah. So there you go.
That's it.
50 cities I would rather visit than Cincinnati. We'll start with all the major ones. New York, would rather go.
Yes.
LA, would rather go. Chicago, especially in the summer, loved it last year.
Great.
Would go back in a second. Houston is fourth in population. I will say I'd rather go to Houston than Cincinnati. I think I'd have more fun in Houston, for sure. Phoenix, I've had fun in Phoenix. I would rather go. Philadelphia, I will count it. That's 6 already. San Antonio, you better believe.
Oh, that's a great town.
I enjoyed my trip down to the Riverwalk down there in San Antonio.
Okay, Charles Barkley.
Dude, the number of jokes that we made. Yeah. Great trip. San Diego, would rather go. Fort Worth, would rather go. Jacksonville, controversial in this
Wow.
one. Would rather go.
That's crazy.
than Cincinnati.
Jacksonville?
That's crazy.
Okay.
Austin, Texas, sign me up. Would rather go.
Of course, that's
What are
a
we
natural.
at? 11 at this point, I think?
As a natural.
Charlotte, 12, would rather go.
Okay, Charlotte's pretty good.
Indianapolis.
No, you can't. No.
Yes.
It's the same town.
Nope.
Ugh.
It's not Cincinnati. Did Indianapolis give Schwarber the key to the city?
No.
I could go to a Fever game. I could go to a Pacers game, watch Halliburton. I could
Go to St. Elmo's.
I could pretend that Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson are answer to a problem that's much larger than both of them. San Francisco, would rather go. Seattle, would rather go.
Yes.
Denver, absolutely. I'll say it. The home of the NBA champions, Oklahoma City, I'd rather go. Nashville, of course.
Of course.
Duh.
That's a lock.
Absolutely. D.C., been there plenty of times, would
Great.
rather go.
Good times.
Vegas, would rather
Abs-
go.
Yeah.
Boston, absolutely.
You need to
You
like,
anti-Boston?
Boston's fine.
I was Boston a couple weeks ago. It was a lot of fun.
Boston's fine. It's better than Cincinnati.
Yeah, of course.
But what about a town that you like maybe don't necessarily like, but you're still gonna go because
Dallas, would rather go.
there you go.
Trying to think. What other cities do I not? Atlanta.
St. Louis.
I would rather go to St. Louis. Sign me up. Baltimore, Milwaukee, Tucson, Fresno, Sacramento, Kansas City, Raleigh, Colorado Springs.
Yeah, I put Raleigh. on.
Virginia Beach, Long Beach.
No, not Virginia
Oakland.
Beach. No.
What's wrong with Virginia
No.
Beach? I'd rather go to Virginia Beach.
I guess the water's there.
Sign me up for Durham. Sign me up
No,
for
not
Wilmington, North Carolina.
Wilmington, lovely. Durham, no.
Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach, yes, 100%. Great golf, great
Absolutely.
beaches, great bars, good times in Myrtle.
Miami.
Durham, you're wrong for Durham.
Orlando.
Durham
New
stinks.
Orleans, for sure.
Yes, that's a lock.
I would rather go back to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tampa.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Tampa.
There you go.
Try to think. I would go back to Bozeman, Montana before I went to Cincinnati.
In the winter?
Yes.
Oh.
I would freeze. Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
What about Buffalo?
I'd go back to Wichita.
Buffalo?
Buffalo, absolutely.
Willis McGahee, he told me there's nothing to do there.
Providence, Rhode Island. Sign me up.
What about Foxborough?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
The point being here, I'm out. Altoona. Yeah, absolutely in on that. I'll go to Altoona. I'll go to Toontown first. I saw Andrew put that in there. I'll go to Toontown first. I never made it up there. You would think.
Yep. No.
Nah. Never. I know the Curves broadcaster. He's a great guy, John Moses. Shout out John Moses.
Shout out John.
Yeah. But my point is here. Cincinnati and I are at odds forever.
Well, you're at war with them.
Yes. I think that this is one of the more
The key to the
egregious.
city today is really ridiculous.
Yeah, it's an egregious thing to do. Like, truthfully, we just went through a ton of different cities, but it's an egregious thing to do.
I'm wondering, are other teams going to start doing this? Are other teams going to gang up on guys that could be available? Like, oh, that's not a bad play. Thanks a lot, Cincinnati. Little hat tip. Because I could see it happening. I think it's very strange, but I could see it happening.
Yeah, so JT's from Oklahoma, so I don't know
Yes.
where that would happen.
I just mean it in general, not necessarily with
Well,
the
no, I'm
Phillies.
just trying to think now. When I have to have my guard up consistently.
It's true.
I have to. Thank goodness Wheeler's retiring at the end of his contract. I don't have to worry about that. They've got Harper and Turner until we're all 75.
Well, they're from. Where's Turner from? Harper's from Vegas.
Oh yeah. Oh, there you go. If the A's get there at the end of Harper's contract, they might as well give him the key to the city. A's aren't going to do anything there.
I don't think that's going to happen. So.
All right. So to clear up what we've established here today, Rob Thompson's bothering me with things. Ranger Suarez is officially a problem. We both think that Nola now is your third starter in the postseason.
Give me 3.
I think that we both think they should go 5 man and
Give the
let
rest.
one of them rest. And right now it looks like Suarez, which is crazy to say after Wheeler and all that stuff. Kevin Patullo's a blinker. You got that? He just blinks. I don't know. His blinking caught my eye.
People
today
that are
during the
listening,
presser.
there's no way that you're not going to be able to watch that now. And I hope his next time, he literally just gives you that stare the whole time so his eyes start watering because he won't blink.
Please, no Adam Gase look-alike.
Right?
Remember Adam Gase when he was
right,
introduced
with
to the Jets?
introductory press conference?
Yeah. Oh, please no.
He was
Anything
actually-
but that.
He looked like he was stunned. Maybe he was surprised they actually gave him the job. Wait a minute. I'm in charge? That doesn't sound right.
That doesn't sound like something that
Wait
should
a
happen
minute.
here. And the top 5 that we got into, or the 5 teammates that we got into. I'm thinking about what Tasty Cake Dom said about Simmons. I'm thinking that might be
Him at the 4?
just maybe as one last kick at Tobias for me.
Shouldn't, but in the scenario, because James Harden didn't name himself, right? He named 5 teammates. So Joel would have to pick a center.
So the backup center, the best,
Right.
Drummond? First time?
The question isn't
Oh,
the
so you
best.
go and
It's
Simmons
who
is
he-
the center.
Yeah. But it's like who he liked, right?
Oh,
These
who
are
he likes.
questions of who he likes, who
Well,
he'd
yeah.
like to play
so
with.
Simmons wouldn't play with that. Harden, Maxey, Butler would be 3 definites.
Right. Obviously, LeBron from his Olympic teammate.
Oh, stop. We can't do Tobias and him, I think, have a fractured
Yeah.
relationship. It seems like. Because Tobias mentioned he was only excited to see Tyrese Maxey when he was in town. When they played.
It was interesting. I think I remember reading an article. This has been several years. Remember when Joel Embiid finally started going to dinner and he was like, yeah, we started organizing team dinner. So this has been like several years. But Amir Johnson told the story of him trying to order steaks like extra, extra, extra well. Like he hated it to have anything he just wanted. And the chef was like, we can't do that. So maybe Amir Johnson's his guy.
Maybe. Maybe he is. Amy?
Hey, it's
Great
good
having you.
Let's do it tomorrow.
Let's do it tomorrow. Austin, great work today. That's all we got for the midday show. Coming up next, Unfiltered here on 97.5.